right. Welcome in, everybody. We're going to be doing something a little bit different today. I don't usually do a lot of just chatting streams, but I'm really excited because I have my friend Amanda here with me today, and we're going to have a great time just shooting the breeze, talking about some stuff, and just hanging out and having a good time. I imagine we'll be going for a couple hours here. And, yeah, I think it'll be fun. I just have some fireplace ASMR stuff in the background just so it's not too hard to hear everybody. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and make sure Amanda can hear us and speak and say hi to all you guys, all you little monsters. All right, Amanda, take it away.
Hello, everyone. This is Yo Faithful, Amanda Splats, the Desert Eagle of Mahavre. And I'm really happy to be here. Do thanks for having out your mother to use. This has been a long time coming. You know, I got all dressed up for the occasion. Then I realized I could probably just take a picture or something, because that's the nature of what we're doing. It's an amazing visual. It's a theater of the mind, really.
Yeah.
And I lost mine long ago, so that's made this a little bit harder. But hey, here we are.
Well,
how are you holding up, Mother Tiffy? How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. I'm doing pretty good, all things considered.
Yeah, I know school's been weighing heavily on you. You've been talking about the classes starting up soon and everything. So I know this whole big celebration you're doing right now, the SubbieThon.
Yes.
Big celebration of you as well. And it's definitely deserved. It's been here nearly 5 years.
Yes, a long time.
Look at all the people's Oshis and even Gen 1 Hololive stuff like that have not been here for 5 years, and you've made it. You've survived.
Yes, I am.
To what do you attribute that?
Just I would say sheer grit and determination, and a healthy spoonful of resilience. And it's taken a lot of fortitude to not let all this sort of petty bullshit stuff that goes on in the VTuber community. It's taken a lot of determination to just be you know what, I'm gonna persist beyond that, because for those of you who know, I have, a few enemies in this community that I did not willingly create. I've always been about collaboration and working together because, we're stronger when we're together. And
absolutely.
So, unfortunately, I've had to deal with some people in this community who really don't know how to do that. And so, I had to deal with a lot of people just kind of, I don't even know how to say, just kind of either taking some of my stuff that I worked on and pretending that it's theirs, or getting me shadow banned for a while. It was nuts.
Wow.
Yeah, but
they literally took you to the shadow realm. Oh
yeah.
My God.
Yes. And fun fact, that's actually where Shadow Tiffy comes from. So that version of me that has the black outfit and the fishnets, that's literally kind of my response to that. And so
Shadow Tiffy, as opposed to Shin Tiffy, which is regular Tiffy, but she's got 2 air fireballs instead of 1. And
yes.
Goku Satsu uses less meter.
Yes. So, I mean, for example, that was one creative way that I chose to deal with what was happening to me, and luckily, I persisted past people's attempts to get me banned, get me to quit, all this kind of stuff. So, and I think it really just comes down to knowing who I am at the end of the day, and knowing what I'm actually here for, which is just to give people a comfy space to be themselves and to get creative. I mean, to me, that's what VTubing
Yeah.
is all about. It's creativity, um,
And
in my
and and
opinion.
it is you who. Oops, sorry. I was gonna say it is you who have inspired me to create like make writing streams a regular thing. Watching yours back in the day, before anyone even knew who Amanda Splatz was, kind of gave me the courage to do my own.
And I think that's really amazing because back when I started doing writing streams, like there wasn't even a category really for writers, and now Twitch has added a writing and reading category, which I think is pretty amazing. It's pretty nice that they did that. And speaking of writing streams, I'm actually planning to do one sometime this weekend, where it's going to be kind of like a writer's workshop where I can help you little monsters workshop your ideas. And one of my goals that I have up here, for a bits donation is to work on a story together with chat, which I think would be really fun. I haven't
That would
decided
be absolutely great. Yeah.
I haven't decided how I want to do that, if I just want to have people join in chat or if I want to do some on VC. Probably just in chat though, since I do have to use my magical dragon to type stuff. So I might just do it that way since I actually have to speak to type, which is a very unique thing. And I think that's pretty cool too, that people get to come in and go, whoa, what are you doing? I actually get to watch this story come to life.
Yeah, and that's kind of interesting. First of all, to bring up the technology you're using, the text to speech dragon.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's really cool to see that because I'm not gonna. I work for Desert Salt LLC. That's the cover story for what I do in real life.
Mm-hmm.
But what I do, there's a lot of documentation, management stuff like that, and I know that would definitely help some of the people I know, things like that. But yeah, as far as being creative, usually when I do a writing stream, I have an idea of what I want to go in. But it's always kind of fun when when I don't have an idea, when I just let the chat help come up with ideas as well. One of my cardinal characters, Agent Takeen, kind of a Native American secret agent woman, was mostly created by the chat during the stream, and now she's an integral part of the story. So
That's
it's always great to, to kind of put out your interest, but it's always amazing when that chat, when your community can help bring the story to life, because that's really why we're here.
yeah, I definitely agree with that. And welcome in, Reaper. Good to see you. Welcome in, Left Pigeon. Maybe one of these days, Collie will actually make it to make it to a stream. He has been kind of busy this week, so I don't blame him, because if I didn't have my support bard, like, it would be much harder for me to have like free time to stream and then sort of balance all the schoolwork and
Yeah,
stuff.
I tell you, you and Callie, y'all are the real power couple of VTubing. Y'all been
Yep.
making it work, and it's and I guess maybe it's a cultural thing with the idol culture, or whatever. But I don't understand people who want their idols to have no even concept of what a man is, much less have a boyfriend or something.
Yeah.
It's so fun watching the two of you interact together. It's so cute. It's
It,
heartwarming.
I mean, we have a lot of good chemistry, and I think it's because, like, a lot of the time we're on the same wavelength. I think some of that does come from, like, the Japanese idea of, like, idol culture, where you're not supposed to be in a relationship, but I also think, like, American VTubers have really flipped the table on that one, because we don't really have the same culture with that. Um, and I have a hot take.
Oh,
I have
much
a I have a theory, like, from my experience when I do, like, ASMR content, which I do a lot more these days because people really, really like that stuff. What I've noticed is this: there's a lot of men, not all men, but there's a lot of men who imbibe that content and automatically assume that the female content creator making that content is one, single, two, can be flirted with, and three, is up for anything and everything. And so I've literally had to learn how to correct people and be like, no, I'm here for comfy vibes. No, I have a partner. And, like, if you need that kind of stimulation, my dude, this is not the channel for that, so.
Some people just don't know how to act, man, I swear. Whether it's bots or whether it's people just being horny in people's chats, I look like crap, so I haven't had the whole experience of someone trying to hit on me in chat yet. But people just don't know how to act, man. I swear. You want to let the community breathe, but sometimes you gotta take out the damn bad hammer.
Yep. I mean, I kind of learned that the hard way. One of the last streams that I did like last week before I started, my week-long celebration, some stuff got out of control crazy in like an ASMR stream, and I'm not really used to that because most people who come in are really chill, really comfy. They sort of abide by the rules, so to speak, and stuff just popped off, and I was like, was really trying to be patient with them, but it really just kind of taught me, I think before it ever gets that way again, I need to, put my foot down, so to speak, a lot more quickly than I did, because it was just like, I don't need those vibes in my chat when I'm just trying to be cozy. I'm just trying to be comfy, y'all.
Well, you want to give people the benefit of the doubt, especially people who are new to your community.
Mm-hmm.
But on the other hand, oh god, you don't want that to overrun things either. So,
yeah.
I know it's a tight line to walk, and I know luckily you got people like Callie helping you with the moderation and everything.
Yeah.
And keeping tabs on everything over there.
Yeah, it was.
Just wanted to bring this up. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
It looks like I'm a little translucent. I noticed.
Oh. Well, it's okay.
Like, I put up a transparent PNG. Like I think maybe there's like a filter or something on it.
Ooh. All right. Well, if you need to fix that, you're all good.
There we go. It's fine.
Scruff is
so
normal.
So I swear I don't know what it is, but it's just heartening to see someone who's like wanted to do things differently, like you have being able to make it. It's just been with this community that you built too over the last few years.
Mm-hmm.
I see. But like I said, I've been watching Mother TV long before anyone knew Amanda Splats existed, and I see a lot of the same names here, a lot of regulars, and it does my heart good to know that people are able to rally around her at this time.
Yeah, I mean it's really amazing, and I want to just say I'm really proud of you. You've done so much, and you've grown your own community as well. And every time I see that you're live on YouTube, I'm like, they're really doing something over there. They're really committed to this, and I love to see it. So I'm really proud of you.
That is high praise coming from your Mother TV. And just troubleshooting a couple things, just changing the food you see, and it's not. We'll just say this is astral projection. Although I did do a whole bit on my stream this morning. I'm doing a road test stream with Sand Ruby. Where I'm actually trying to get a plane to come down to Castle Brightlock. So I just pictured myself just wandering the hallways for the last couple hours, eating a corn dog, looking up song lyrics.
Nice.
Waiting for my turn to get in Tifi's presence.
That works for me.
Your mind goes to place because this is just a theater of the mind after all, man. We're just it's putting on a show, but like you said, with people being too horny and everything, you gotta assume, especially in the medium of VTubing, with the more adult content that we do, people have to assume they know where the line is, and they know like what's real and what's part of the story. And I
Yeah.
try not to insult like my viewers' intelligence by spelling it out, although sometimes I feel like I really do need to. That's why I say like if I'm talking like when I say this is the author talking, they know it's the person behind the character.
Yeah.
But it's just it's great that you don't have to spell everything out for everyone. Although there's some people you always have to spell everything out. It's getting to feel out your community, getting to know your community, and with 5 years still not knowing your community, learning, and it's been an amazing experience seeing everyone evolve.
Oh, yeah. And I think it's just really great that you took the leap and started making your own content and made your own persona. Because, I mean, there's a lot of people in this community that I have encouraged, to dabble around with it. And some of them have taken the leap, and others have, not yet for whatever reason. So I'm always really proud when I get to look at my notifications and I'm like, yep, Amanda's out there doing something else. They're making some more content. So I'm just really proud.
Great, thank you. Although I think I've been going a little too hard on the content. I announced like a couple weeks ago that I finally hit my first wall and get that burn. And I'm sure for you, someone doing as long as you have, you felt burnout as well at times. So I've been trying to
Yeah,
control that just a
definitely.
little bit, and just trying to. And you brought this up when you're doing one of your tarot streams with the Earth Dragon card that you got about trying to figure out what I want to put my energies to, what I want to focus on.
Yep.
And that kind of came to an head earlier today when I purchased Peak, which is one of the big streamer games right now. And I
Yeah.
initially wasn't interested in it, but it's one of those things I only purchased because I know it would get me in a couple collabs, but meet some amazing people, be able to chat it up with them, both inside my outfit and outside of it. But it just straight up didn't run, so I
Oh
had to
no.
return it. And I know, like, I got a potato PC, and it bakes pretty easily. So I know
Yeah.
that not being able to run a lot of the stuff has got me out of a lot of collabs. But I've had to be resilient. I've had to try to think around it differently. Like instead of complaining about what I can't have and the money that I can't put into it right now, I've got to focus on what I can do. And you've helped inspire a lot of that. I can do lore. I can do creative writing. I can do getting in touch with and bouncing ideas off my community. And you've what you did, and the template you've kind of put out here really has helped me a lot. And that's just it's been absolutely beautiful to watch you evolve and to see what I can learn from that as well.
Well, I mean, I'm really glad that people have taken, kind of the right, what I would say is the right kind of inspiration, from what I do, because it's like, yeah, I could have come out with one version of my character and stayed with that and not evolved, but it's like, my VTuber character, like real life, we don't stay the same. Life changes us, life grows us up,
Right.
changes our priorities, and so I kind of look at that as a rare opportunity to show this community, look, you can evolve your character. You don't have to stay the way that you were. You can do it kind of gracefully, although my mid evolution was a little bit awkward, but I like to call that my teen mom phase because it was really kind of the awkward moment of me trying to figure out how to go from the maiden version of me to like the mom version of me. So that was a really kind of awkward time for me, and I actually, between this evolution and that one, there were some serious moments where I thought about graduating. And, just so you know, you're not the only one who has moments of like, oh my god, what do I do?
Yeah, it's just it's the twilight of the fucking soul. I've brought this up before, but You um, you just gotta rely. If you can't clear out the brain worms on your own, you gotta rely on other people. You can't
Yes.
really cut yourself off with things like that. But you were talking about evolution, though. I've brought this gentleman up in my um in my stream before as one of my major inspirations. A professional wrestler by the name of Bray Wyatt, R.I.P. Kendall Windham, who originally came out as kind of a Louisiana Bayou type of Southern cult leader type of thing, type of character, and he was able to evolve several different times, being like a psycho clown fiend, a psycho Mister Rogers type, and he's able to evolve and change himself. But what also really interested in me was how it's all horror. It's all horror, but he's a professional wrestler. Just because his family was professional wrestlers, so it was interesting seeing how he filtered that horror thing into pro wrestling, and it didn't always work, but he was able to evolve, able to change several different times before he tried to be passed away. And what I try to do is kind of inspired by Bray Wyatt. I have a few different characters here in Mahavre that I portray, and trying to filter the writing and stuff through through VTubing and tell the story through VTubing, which is not always the most conducive thing. I mean, you look at VTubing, mostly think about Zatsus or
Mm-hmm.
playing games, which is like the
Yeah.
vast majority of stream content. So, not only do I look to people like you and Bray Wyatt on how to evolve the character and how to evolve as a streamer alongside that, but also on to how to take what I love and translate it to a medium where it may not always come through. But
Yeah.
people see the heart. They'll see the heart.
And that's I think you bring up a good point because for me when I started, I've played some games on stream and I used to do a lot more gaming, but I think it just ended up being for me because it's not where my talents are. So, kind of out of necessity, I started developing streaming content that was around my strengths, and then it ended up turning into this, like, kind of soft crusade of saying, well, not every VTuber has to be epic gamer or epic idol singer person. There is room for people to be a writer, an artist, just those things like that you don't normally think of when you think of VTuber. I've been a huge advocate for just do what you love. You'll make your brand, you'll make your community, you'll make your purpose out of doing what you love because I see so much toxicity and stress about, well, I want to do the right thing. I want to do the thing that gets me the trending stuff, and I'm just like, well, that's great if you're comfortable. If you're comfortable doing that, that's fine. But if that's not where your strengths are, it doesn't matter how trendy it is. People are going to be able to tell when you're not in your element.
Yeah, and I've fallen victim to that before. Um, I think the most recent example is the big one everyone's playing is Uma Musume, the horsey girl game.
Oh, yes.
Luckily with that one, it's not as much of an investment because it's free. But I just
Yeah.
really didn't see much of an interest in playing it. One of my colleagues, the great Cara Malone, did a 6-hour stream with me while I tried to learn the game. And honestly, that was just an excuse to chat with him for a while because he's just so giggly and charismatic. He's a hell of a guy. And but it's just trying to get on the train, trying to do what other people are interested in, just to get the clicks, just to get the views, etc. Um, I've had that brain one before, especially early on. Instead of trying to focus on and cultivate, instead of trying to bring in a lot of people who may like you for one thing you're gonna do for a little bit and expect you to do that thing. You need to find a few people who will enjoy everything you do,
Yeah.
because they'll stay around for the long haul. And since I've been doing, I noticed my view count has plummeted, but my watch hours have gone way up, which tells me that
Nice.
the people who are stopping by are sticking around for like the whole stream, and
That's
that's the kind
really
of community
cool.
I want. The people who are able to just vibe with me, and I can vibe with them. It's amazing.
Yeah. And it's.
Of course, then sometimes I. Oops, sorry. I was just gonna
No, go
say
ahead.
then sometimes things that I do like Balatro,
Yeah.
blow up, and that's like something that as a degenerate gambler I do actually enjoy. Sometimes you get lucky. Sometimes the world revolves around the sun, and you end up in front of your own house. It's crazy.
Well, there you go. And I think it's kind of poignant that you bring that up because I think I just talked about that with somebody the other day because they were talking about content and, building a community and what should they do to make it successful. And I said, well, first of all, I think you need to be able to answer for yourself. What does success mean to you? Because success is a tricky beast. It can mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people. And once you know what that answer is for you, you're going to be able to make more authentic choices. And then I also kind of brought up about cultivating an audience. I said you want to make sure that what you build your audience around is something you actually can give and keep on giving. To not just start doing something for the numbers and then not be comfortable with it. So that's why I don't really mind when people stop by like the ASMR streams and they're, asking for certain things and I say no, I don't do that and they leave. I mean, it used to bug me, but it doesn't really bug me anymore because I'm like, well, I don't want people being on my channel for the wrong reasons. I don't want them just in my community to get their rocks off in that case. I want them to actually be here because they want to be here.
Yeah, you gotta, and this is something that I made a mistake on very early on. Could have saved myself a lot of brain worms. You gotta look at the type of people you're courting, the type of people you want to bring into the fold,
Mm-hmm.
and are they really the type of people that you want? And a lot of that is based on how you promote yourself and how you handle yourself and what type of stuff you do.
Yeah, for sure. And I really think that comes down to how represent yourself on social media. Because I think at least with the younger kids, and I know I'm going to sound like a straight up mom saying this, but a lot of younger VTubers, they go and make posts on social media thinking that it's not going to blow back up in their face. Especially with like potential sponsorships or sponsors and things like that. And I'm just like, you all need to remember that the internet is like your living room. So people that you don't even know are watching are going to see what you post, see how you handle yourself. And if you're not going to act professional, there are a lot of companies and a lot of professionals who are not going to like that behavior no matter how many followers you have. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the main reasons why I say there's a hard and fast rule: no politics on my streams.
Mm-hmm.
Because regardless of how you feel about something, you're gonna get 49.5% of the population angry at you if you say something. So it's
Yeah.
hard and fast, like no politics. Like a lot of the main topics of the day aren't brought up.
Mm-hmm.
It's just because I know I have to deal with that at work. So I know I need to escape from that stuff after work. I
Yeah.
know a lot of other people want to escape from that as well, just to enjoy some dumb lady in the desert screaming at cloud, which has become my main mode of content. That worries me a little bit, but just get away from that, man. And I think again, that's another thing. You're amazing about how you're able to bring up all these things and to help make a change in your community. Also, type of spirit, and I think early on I wanted to try to do that as well, but I realized that maybe I'm just better at like just helping people out, like helping figure things out, and just kind of giving them a little bit of escape for a while. I think maybe I was
Yeah.
trying to read too much into what the medium of VTubing really can be, and just try to figure out what's best for me,
Yeah.
so I can help the community through my own way.
Yeah, I think that's. I mean, you were asking me earlier about, what's led to the longevity of being on here for five years. I think that's a big part of it, is being able to shift my focus from going on a mission to change the world. Not that that's a bad thing, but I've really had to like continue to do that, but make it more of like, what am I here to give people, and what are the things that I give people that they want and need most? And what I've realized that they want and need most is comfort. They need someone to tell them that it's going to be okay. They need a place to go where they know they're not going to be judged.
Yeah, and it's real hard for people to find that, especially you talking about how everything is on there, especially if you start looking at the comment sections of a lot of these websites.
Mm-hmm.
I think you did put it very well about how social media and everything is really like your living room. Although my living room is not completely covered with cat memes
Cat
yet.
memes.
But yeah, it's just it's just and this is a question I grapple with semi regularly myself. And I know every good streamer needs to grapple with this one. I know you have as well. Is what do you want to put out there? What do you want to project to the
Yes.
world? And how do you want to present yourself and your content? And I know that stopped me from doing a lot of really Manhara stuff and just trying to control myself. Just trying to think of how it would affect others and affect the people that like one of my Oshis earlier was Fujikura Uruka. I believe she's from Taiwan. She's a
Mm.
bear with a face connect outfit. She's a violin player, deep voice, kind of nerdy. And early on, she had a lot of emotional moments, to put it mildly.
Yeah.
And we all got really worried about her. And she has admitted recently that things are getting better, and she worried about the type of image she used to put out. So having that inspiration as well for like, because when you're in stream, when you're like at 5, 6, 7 hours in, sometimes you don't completely see the whole picture because you're too busy. You're focusing, and you've got to. I think that's why I go over my VODs as much as I do, just kind of see what was my vibe at that certain time. What did I
Yeah.
say at that certain time? So I can go ahead and just try to provide the best version of me I can.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing that you bring up, because I do rewatch a lot of my streams, and no, it's not a ego thing. It's kind of the same way that actors will kind of rewatch some of their own work to be like, "Oh, how can I improve on this thing or that thing?" Just for the fun of improving stuff. And Bird actually asked a really good question up there a little bit ago. He wants to know what you learned from me and what I've learned from you. So I guess I'll go first. Well, I've learned from Amanda to just be very creative and, unabashedly yourself, and basically to not take any crap. And just be like, nope, this is who I am, this is what I'm here to do. If you can't wrap your head around that, that's your problem. So I think I've learned a little bit of toughness here from Miss Amanda, which I think is a good thing.
I'm honored, and I hate to take the dew off the lily or anything, but that is something that I've had to struggle with myself quite a bit, being able to project that. And I would like to say it comes from a place of strength. That it comes from a place of wanting to be that shining roadkill on the hill. But honestly, a lot of it just comes from a place of having no fucks left to give. I'm
Yep.
sorry. I promised I would control my
You're
language
fine.
today,
You're
but
fine.
actually should. I mean, we're not playing golf, so I'm not gonna curse a whole lot. But it just comes from a place of being so exhausted that you know what, you're just getting the raw splats right now. I'm done with crap. And you know, if that helps people like you and other people stand up and say, you know what, I'm done. I'm done. This is raw meat. This is unfiltered. Um, then that's great too. So then that's we can leave as well. But as far as what I've learned from Mother Tifi, oh god, so many things. It's things I've brought up so far about how she's able to evolve, how she's able to grow a community, how she's able to be creative with. I think that's the biggest thing is that like the creativity that you bring in with the non-gaming
Thanks.
stuff, like with the creative writing and community and the music and everything. Actually being able to now I do a lot of gaming, of course, a lot of golfing, which kind of weirded me out when I realized how much golf is on my channel. But being able to do non like I've even gotten into Zatsu's like you. I do a every like 1 to 2 to 3 weeks. I do a little wrap up show for anyone who might have not been able to catch every single stream, and I
Nice.
just go over the week that was and the weeks ahead. And it's just and if nobody shows up, then that's just a little news thing. But if people do show up, I'm able to chat with them, and it's great getting that feedback. Because I think there's too many streamers like kind of get caught in an echo changer from of them in their own head or in their own community. But
Yeah.
actually being able to bounce ideas off of other people as well, even if they're outside of your community, it's just great. And the way that you've been able to reach out to other people like this roadkill person, it's just been so great, man. And I'm honored that we're able to finally do this. This has been a long time coming, Mother D.
Yeah, and I'm really glad to be able to finally host you because I know when you first started it was kind of like, well, I wanted to give you time to get your footing and get used to everything and get in the swing, but I'm really glad that we're finally able just to sit down and chat and just hang out and vibe.
Plus, I know around that time you were doing a lot of the college stuff, and a lot of that was kind of kicking into high gear. So I understand that, like, you had a lot of other priorities as well. I was trying to get my foot and decide where I wanted to go with my channel, which I'm
Yeah.
still working on.
Well,
But it's always you always want to like even if you've got a good foothold and know what you think you want to do, it's always good to be kind of thinking about what that next step is going to be. And I know you had a lot of other things on your plate before then, so you know I'm really happy that we were able to mesh our schedules together and like bang our heads together, so to speak,
yeah.
until we found a place that fit together. It's just fucking great.
Yeah, I'm really happy about that because I was kind of worried that we wouldn't be able to, fit it together and get on the same time zone, same timeline. And also, Collie, good to see you. And Collie has a question for you,
Hey, Collie.
Amanda.
Hey,
Roadkill person.
Polly, now I'm not insulting. I'm not insulting myself. I'm literally roadkill, man. It's
Yes.
part of the lore. Um, you can check out my writing streams. Because if you want to check out my writing streams, the VODs, I read the full story at the end, so you can skip ahead and get to the story itself. But QRD, from what we've learned over the last year, I am a amalgamation of things and characters and animals that died on a road in a desert county known as Mahavre, channeled through an eagle, which was the last one he was killed, who was hit by an isekai truck. Not just isekai. He wasn't just hit. He was run. He was run the hell over. And it's an isekai truck, so of course became a magical girl. But I still got run over, so now it's still roadkill. And I will save you the gory details. But eventually, do I have the Fuki open? Or what we do a little theatrical with this? Since we're getting into the lore, I hope you don't mind.
No, go
So
for
I was suddenly a magical girl, dragging myself on the arms through the desert,
Oh
leaving little
man.
bits behind, and eventually I ended up coming across a creature by the name of Sandru, a coyote spirit. We may have had our own intentions at first. Looked down at this girl and said, "Hey, you give me your soul, and I'll make sure that you survive what you're about to go through." So I patched her up and sent her on her way. Uh, Amanda's been haunted, quote unquote haunted, by this mysterious thing in the porcelain mask for like the last decade and a half. But eventually last year she started streaming and found a bunch of new people to annoy her. And there you go, the rest of the say is history. Knew Sandy was gonna worm her fucking way in somehow. I apologize. But yeah,
That's so cool.
QRD, like, is literal. And if you want, like, I didn't talk about what Sandy really is because that's like the most recent chapter. I don't want to spoil anything for anyone who wants to back read my work. I thought about doing a whole stream, like not a stream, but a pre-recorded stream, where I just read everything that's been done in year one at once, just so everyone has a nice recap of the story so far. I just haven't had the time. Although I noticed that you've been doing some pre-tapes here and there, you and other members of Council Brightlock have been doing
Yes.
pre-tapes, and that's definitely helped fill in the gaps.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
until like they changed my hours slightly at work, and now it's like now I can just actually get up really early in the morning before work and maybe knock out an hour or two, or maybe I don't knock out an hour or two. Maybe I sleep, take care of myself like everyone keeps telling me to do, and I keep telling all my OGs to do, and just stream when I'm feeling like I'm at my best.
Yep. And on that note, that's like one of the best pieces of advice I was ever given by another VTuber, and I don't even know if they're still streaming anymore, but that's one of the very first pieces of advice that I was given is if you're not feeling well and if you're not at your best, don't stream. Just full stop. Don't stream. And I
Yeah,
think
but
that's been the best
I,
advice ever.
yeah, I've had to private a couple of bots because I look back and no, that's not what I want to do. That's not what I want to put out there.
Yeah.
So like I get worried though because the 2 days I'm off work that I can really stream a lot are Wednesdays and Sundays. Hence doing this today. And problem is if I'm only streaming 2 days a week, there's this big gap between
Yeah.
Wednesday and Sunday. What do I do to fill that in? Originally, I streamed on like Friday evenings or Saturday evenings, but putting on a stream after work and then getting up really late in the morning for work, that was just really killing me physically. So, I started doing some pre-recorded content, and it was great when I could do it, but I didn't always have time to pre-record something. So now the solution is either just don't do anything, or if I'm up early in the morning anyways, because I got spine issues with my back,
Yeah.
just killing me sometimes, and I can't sleep. If I'm up at that time, I'll just like throw together an old retro arcade game and like go for an hour, see who stops by. Because doing that, I found as far as actual time zone success, experimenting with that, I'm surprised. Usually I stream about 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time when I do stream. And I didn't think that if I was doing that, that it would kill the view. I'm getting more views at 7 a.m. than any other time slot I do.
Nice.
And for the longest time, I wondered why. Like, are these people just... It turns out I got a lot of European viewers, actually. Like,
Yes.
almost all my regulars are European. And it's great. I love them. I love getting that perspective from across the pond.
I was gonna say it's probably people in Europe because I've noticed that when I do like some of the ASMR content, like 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. is just like that sweet spot, and it's a lot of people from Europe, and I always really enjoy that because it's a completely different vibe. It's really fun.
Yeah, I think that's one of the most fun things I've had about VTubing is being able to meet people from literally across the world. Like, there are people in the outfit that I'm in that are from Japan, that are from I've got a couple. I think there are a couple that are from, like, they're Dutch, and they got a lot of fans from across. It's for someone who's only been interacting with people like as opposed to work, only interacting with people like within the same county or within the same state. It's been amazing meeting people across the world and getting all those views and their opinions. And I know a lot of them are worried about a lot of the stuff. It's great to see that they're worried about a lot of the same stuff that we are as well.
Yeah.
It's kind of heartening. Bring everyone together. It's a small world. No, oh my God, it's already stuck in my head. I apologize. It's a small world. Things with DMCA. Sorry, just shutting us down. I apologize.
Nah, I think we're good. But I mean, I sometimes have that brain worm that's like, oh no, I'm not doing enough, I'm not consistent enough, and then I have to stop, breathe, and say, I'm doing what I can do, I'm doing what I can manage, and that's a lot more than a lot of people that I've seen come into this community and then shortly leave it. It's like, it's playing the long game. And that's, I think, what I really want to be able to show people is, like, you're gonna have breaks. You're gonna have gaps. Like, no one can be on 24/7. And the people who are, I genuinely, as a counselor in training, I genuinely do not believe that that's healthy. I know I'm probably gonna have a lot of streamers saying, well, yeah, but that's streamer culture. Well, yeah, but it's also not healthy because it kind of teaches people to forgo their own physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual health to keep up the grind. And that's just, I don't condone that, especially being someone who struggles with chronic illness and has many, many, many friends who struggle with chronic illness and chronic pain. That's just something I'm really trying to change one stream at a time, is to say, hey, it's all right. If you need to take breaks, take breaks. Just don't quit. And
as someone who's actually, I've actually streamed 10 times in 1 week.
Oh my gosh.
And streamed for like 13 consecutive days when I was trying to do that grind. And it just, like I said, I felt something grinding away and I had to back off. And like recently with the burnout, it just felt like something actually broke this time. And it's just pushing myself too hard. I need to start doing what I tell all my Oshis and start listening to what my body's telling me and what my brain is telling me.
Yes.
And just try to pace me.
Yes. I would say to those who are going to listen back to this recording and to those who are in the chronic illness community, whatever spectrum that's on, that's the most important thing. Because what I've learned is if you're not feeling at your best, and if you're already feeling drained, your content is going to reflect that. And so I always tell people, what's worse, a couple of missed days or doing a bit of content that you're absolutely not proud of? To me, the second option is worse. Welcome in, Techie. Good to see you.
Yeah, it's the type of people who are going to leave because you're not streaming every single day. I get the feeling some of them are the type of people who are going to leave anyways if they find someone else who's doing something similar.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like something to have on the TV, quote unquote.
Right.
As opposed to someone who you want to actually watch for their content, to actually tune in and pay attention. It's like trying to get into your viewers' heads and figure out why they're there.
Right. And why the right people are here, and it's kind of the same thing that we have to do when we write a book or when we pursue any artistic endeavor, in my opinion, and VTubing is an artistic endeavor. We have to say, okay, not everybody is going to like everything we do. People are by nature very, very fickle. That is their nature. So what we have to understand is not how to appease those fickle people, but to understand what kind of person are we aiming to meet? What kind of person are we aiming to reach out to? And I think the fact that my channel has grown a lot over the last year from where it was is a really good example of that, because I literally had to sit down and say, okay, I could be a social justice warrior, and I have no problem being that, and there's a part of my personality that is still doing the warrior bit, but at the same time, I had to sit back and say, okay, but from a mom, what do people need from me? And I think my content and my willingness to stream and my energy completely shifted when I started thinking about, in this crazy world that we're all in right now, the most important thing I can do is give people a place to be and get away from the stuff in life that they can't change, while also trying to still advocate and say, you can speak up for yourself. You can have boundaries. You can have self-worth. And still do that, but do it in a different way. Because when I came into this community, those of you who have been with me for 5 years, you know I was a bit of a firecracker. And you know that I came in here swinging, basically, doing a lot of disability content and disability rights type stuff, and I still do from time to time. But I just really, Amanda, how you were talking about, kind of hitting the wall and feeling like something broke. That's kind of how I felt about a lot of the disability content I was doing. Not that it's not important to me, but I had gone through, by that time, so many people just destroying the good nature behind what I was trying to do and make it into a selfish thing. I was so destroyed by that actually for a while, that's why I didn't stream, and that's why I kind of transformed my content around, because I'm just like, that snapped off. The part of me that could do that and sustain that and continue to be selfless in that way kind of died. And I think people kind of sensed that in me, but I had to find a way to do that without destroying myself in the process. Welcome in, dear.
It's always hard when the people that you rely on, like, you can't end up or the people that rely on you can't end up relying on them back. And like with certain people in the community, you think you can trust, you find out you can't. That's always hard. But you have to remember who you are at the end of the day, and you know how much of an advocate you are for the disabled and for your communities, and how you've helped change a lot of people's thinking about things. But there's also, again, taking care of yourself, taking care of your mental health. It's the balancing act between the type of things you need to do and the type of things you want to do and would like to do.
Yeah.
And just trying to find that. And I figure that's one of the biggest things I've learned from you, is that it's always about finding that balance. And that balance is always going to be a struggle, because that balance is always going to be changing. Like the fulcrum or the wedge or whatever, I don't know, man. It's always going to be changing, so you have to be nimble of mind enough to be able to move with it, because you evolve as a person as well.
Yep, and that's pretty much what I'm proud to see streamers like you and a couple of my other friends kind of doing the same thing, to say it's okay to evolve, it's okay to freshen up the formula, it's okay to freshen up your goals and have a new quest. And that's the way I like to phrase things from now on. If someone asks me, well, TV, you started doing a lot of, disability centered content, and why don't you do that anymore? Well, number one, because there's a lot more people in this community who can do it better and longer than I can, because when I came into the community, there was really no way of looking at streamers with disabilities in the way that I decided I wanted to do. And so, I was kind of the spark that started some of the stuff, but I'm not the person who's gonna be the one to finish carrying it. It's just that some people in the community, what I didn't appreciate was not that the work was being forwarded. That's fine. My issue in this community came down to people not showing respect to the people before them in this community who kind of paved the way for them to do their own thing. And I still will sit by that. I will say, hey, it's fine to go do your own thing. It's fine to do your own version of any kind of content, but respect who it came from. Respect the inspiration.
Right. It's just, and just because somebody did it first, doesn't always mean they did it best. Like you should be adventurous and try to do your own spin on something if you think you can bring something new to the table, or you think it's just something that you just straight up like.
Yeah.
But it's always it's always a hard decision to make, and that's the type of decision that everyone kind of has to make for themselves.
Absolutely.
Of what came before.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm about to make I hear you popping up the drip. I'm about to make a horrible decision. I was doing some grocery shopping, and I thought I would get something special for our occasion, but I don't drink anymore. So I got organic jalapeno limeade.
Ooh.
Grape juice and jalapeno.
Ooh, spicy. I hope it's good. I hope it tastes alright. Sometimes I wonder about spicy lemonades like that. Sometimes they're good, sometimes not so much.
The spice doesn't hit until it gets the back of the throat. It's doing the most damage.
Oh no.
This is going right in the damn trash.
Oh
My
no.
God. Where's the Pepsi? Where's the... Hold on.
Quick, someone get him a Pepsi potion. Kali says it's a respect thing. That'd be like the entire VTuber lover community disrespecting and dismissing Kizuna Ai or any other VTuber that came before them. Pretty much, yeah.
Oh, I didn't. I think there was... this thing's going right back in the fridge. I'm gonna, in a month, I'm gonna see it's there. Forget what it tasted like. We're gonna repeat this whole thing again. That's gonna be great. But yeah, it's but as far as people like Kizuna AI and people like Gargora, Tutina Sora, the originators and progenitors of certain things, what also brings up is the longevity, especially what you've been doing for almost 5 years. We don't know how long the life of an average VTuber is. And he brought up Kizuna AI. I bring this up because Kizuna AI retired or graduated initially. We thought, oh, maybe that's it. Maybe it's 4.5 years would be the average span. But even streaming, what's the life of an average streamer? How long you got people who quit after a year or 2 years? Well, then you got people like Vinny Vinesauce who have been here recently celebrating his 15-year anniversary.
Wow.
So it's exciting to be on the cusp of what really is. If you think about it, it's really kind of a new medium compared to all the other stuff we pirate. I mean, watch. It's great. We're kind of helping forge a new way forward, and
Yeah.
just do what we can to improve this before it's all consumed by skibbity toilet brain rot
Oh
AI
no.
Riz on TikTok.
Yeah. And
Did you hear we're talking about the horses, the horse game? Apparently, there was a horse by the name of Skibbity Riz that
oh
recently won
god.
its first race.
Oh
So
my.
that's all. So any of y'all Uma Musume fan, I can't wait to see how they interpret Skibbity Riz as a cute girl. No, I
oh
do.
my
I
god.
can wait for. I can literally wait forever for that. I do
Oh.
not need that in my life. I know too much about horse girl name as it is.
oh no.
Happy Gold Ship Week, by the way, everyone. Happy Gold Ship Week. Don't forget to log in every single once a day. Get your 564 carats. I tell you, I've talked about my main collaborator, Cara Malone, the giggly cosmic caramel, and he's the one who's trying to get me into. He's a fellow Babanese. He's the one who's trying to get me into these gotcha games like Uma Musume, Girls Frontline. God, there's so many of them, and it's like I can't spend money endlessly on a game, like for hours and hours and hours, just grinding away, or spend a lot of money. And no, apparently he's mastered the tactic of doing a live service game for free, which is just
nice.
figure out when that 24-hour clock resets on when the free stuff is, and then be there like
Sweet.
2 minutes later and get your free stuff and be on with your day. Which sadly is what I've been doing, because I've been apparently the clock for Uma Musume resets at 11 a.m. Eastern. So I don't like admitting this. I've been logging on to my lunch break for like 3 minutes just to get the
Nice.
free stuff and then pull the stuff because I don't know how to explain this for people who don't get it's basically since it just got brought to the US, they're giving you so much free stuff that it's gonna take you like a couple weeks to run all of it. And Malone is annoyed because he keeps pulling for stuff. He's really interested in horse game. I don't give a crap. But even, and the game knows I don't give a crap because I have been getting full 3 stars every time I play. Basically, to break it down easily for people who don't play gacha, there's a 3% chance of getting a level 3 character, and I've gotten a level 3 character every single time I one, and that just annoys him to no end. He's like, hey, he's not even playing this freaking. I guess I'm doing it out of spite. I'm doing that out of spite for you, getting me hooked onto horse game, giving me the knowledge. I haven't even actually played the game. I just look for the characters and getting the free stuff. You know, I know. There was a point where I was living out of spite. It was not good for me, good for my health. But in situations like that, it can be kind of fun.
Yeah, I can see that. Also, Amanda Colley has a question for you in chat, and I will be right back. I gotta go get a little bit of a drink for myself, but I will be right back.
Oh yeah, Colley, that's what I was talking about actually. I look transparent. I don't know if there's a filter on me or something. I tried switching characters earlier, so I think it might be like there's a filter on me, like a chroma key or something. Because like here's San Ruby. Here's the one I normally wear as the dealer. Here's me with the Desert Eagle. Because when I AI generate pictures holding a Desert Eagle, it actually gives me an eagle. Here's one I made for Ozzy Osbourne, R.I.P. Ozzy. Here's the author's barely disguised, you know. And there's me playing golf. But you notice with all of them, I think it must be like a filter or something. Because I change them and it's the same thing. It's just more noticeable with the black one, with the black background on this. I'll go ahead and check that. For visual sake, can a man adjust reactive not to have the image brighten when talking? Let's see. Dim own non-speaking image, never. Okay, I've gone ahead and set it to never. Let's see that. No, no, I think I must be chroma keyed or something. There's like a chroma key. But yeah, I figured this is the type of thing most people would listen to anyways, as opposed to actually talking. Why are people calling me? If they know I'm being a roadkill girl on the internet. Scam likely, why do you keep calling me? And you don't know someone named Scam likely, tell them to stop blowing up my phone, I swear. You get the scam likely, or you get the scam possible. I don't answer any of that anyways. I deal with that too much at work, not to dox what I do with work. Here's a tip for you. If you get some of those scam calls, and the scam call says, hey, click here, press 9 or whatever, in order to not get a call from us again, don't, because that's not really getting rid of it. That's just telling them, oh, this is in fact a live person. Let's keep calling them. So don't choose the
Ew.
opt out option because it doesn't actually opt you out. It just ignore it. Just hang up. And unless you're like a professional scam baiter, like Pierogi, and then you'll go have fun, go mad, go full ham. Welcome back,
So
TV.
yeah, I just had to get a drink real quick, but I'm back now. I saw on the way back that my model was going nuts. I don't even know what for.
Yeah, I didn't want to say anything. I was hoping you were okay, but then I realized like I occasionally like I got a potato. I can barely stream 3D, but when I'm doing Zatsus and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
I do have a 3D model I created on my own, and I notice like even when I bring my hand up to like itch my eye or something, my neck on the model of the neck starts going crazy. So maybe they haven't perfected the technology yet. We need to get to work on that.
I don't know, either
Get to
that
work on.
or there's like a ghost in my office that I don't know about that's just over there having a good time while I'm gone. Apparently,
Are you saying there's a ghost in the shell, Mother T?
maybe, which is also
Tying back to my '90s anime aesthetic that I try
yes,
to go for.
yes, which is actually one of my favorite anime movies from back in the day. I actually think it's really well done.
Oh god, yes, I love Ghost in the Shell. Like anyone who's seen the AI generations and stuff I do, and the story, how my story has like gratuitous violence and drama and stuff. Because I love the '80s and the '90s OVAs, and Ghost in the Shell, I love it. It was revolutionary, but it also kind of hurt things a little bit because it was so popular that people were picking in the states were picking up titles, any single title they could that was anything like it, anything similar, so they could go ahead. But that's how you get crap like MD Geist or Angel Cop or crap like that. Just comes like that's why almost everything was like cyberpunk stuff back in the day, back in the '90s, that got translated to the states because they saw, and you see a lot of that these days With like if like when PUBG came out and then Fortnite really blew up. Um, PUBG, Fortnite, all of that. Um, then what was it? Now every game has to have a fucking battle royale mode. It's absurd. Yeah, just do you, man. Just do you. Oh, you're talking about Excel? Yeah, I love Excel. I thought it was. It's a great parody. It's a great send up of a lot of genres, and it has a lot to say on its own. Problem is a lot of that. Um, Problem is a lot of that has to. We lose a lot of that in translation. That stuff means. Like it's like with Monty Python. A lot of that kind of loses its meaning in translation because there's enough wackiness doing this to cover it.
Yeah, for sure. And my model was just freaking out there again, so
Yeah, I
so
was wondering.
hopefully it'll stop doing that now. Hopefully.
Oh no, maybe you could bring back an older model or something. Maybe would that help? Like
Maybe it might. Hold
like
on.
I remember Malone did that. Carl Malone, he's been around for like 15 months or so. And he's had like 5 or 6 different models. And one day when we were streaming, he actually switched his model, like every half hour or so. Of course, he wasn't doing anything special. He was just trying to see if I was dense enough to notice. And to my credit, I caught most of them. So I'm not
Nice.
as dense as people may think. I'm like, I'm not like an arrow bar. I'm like I don't know. I'm just.
Yes. Technology strikes again. Hold on. Let me see why it's being a goober. Okay, there it is.
Well, that's something I've had to deal with. So, and it happened earlier this morning when Sand Ruby was streaming, and it actually got a blue screen of death right in the middle of the stream.
Oh my gosh.
Everything crashed out midstream, and you just had to embrace that because that was another huge problem early on with me that I got real angry at myself and upset at myself if something went bad. Because I tried to bring the same type of ethic that I had at work as I did into streaming.
Mm-hmm.
And while that really helped me out, helped me survive early, it was also a massive mistake.
Yeah.
Even if you do everything right, technology
Yes.
is just the weirdest friggin' thing.
Yep, and that's what I try to remind people all the time is, hey, look, technology is going to do what it does. So, Colin, you want to see the old models, do you? I guess I could.
Yeah, I actually did a little phantasmagoria of the several models I've loaded up while you were setting everything up. It's kind of fun to see.
Yeah, I think that'd be fun. We can do that real quick. Let's see if I can find.
Because I know you've been using Shadow Teeth.
Yes.
Shadow Teethy Mummy Gang. You love casting spells.
So
I swear, man, I tell you, I know that was just like a meme someone started, like the Shadow Wizard Money Gang, the whole rap thing. But then after the meme, I actually started, retro TV.
Yes.
But I actually started to look, and now I can't stop listening to this one guy, Christ Dillinger, who's one of the worst rappers ever and simultaneously one of the greatest rappers ever. The first song I heard by Christ Dillinger, he went off the beat slightly. So I thought, maybe just a production mistake or something.
Yeah.
But no, the guy veers slightly off the beat every single song he does. And it's kind of amazing. It's once you hear it, you can't. It's like if you're listening to prog rock and start getting the time signature, the wacky like the 22/7s and all that. If you can't unhear it once you figure it out.
And so now we're in middle form now.
Yeah, with the like I don't know what it is. You look at the characters in Mojave, right? Vast majority of them are suits. I don't know what it is about women in suits, but I've always thought it was a nice look.
I mean, for those of you who know, you know that I definitely have a thing for women in suits. Absolutely. I have a thing for them. So,
In fact, I think the one main character in the Mojave story right now who doesn't wear a suit is too muscle bound to fit in a suit. So, oh no, I do have one femboy. I forget. One of the characters supposed to be female recently was a femboy. Revealed to be a femboy. Um, it's just hard to keep track. And there we go. The evolution. It's a beautiful thing to see.
yep, and I figured what better time to do it than on a celebration stream like this, because otherwise most people will never get to see that unless you've been here long enough to see it.
Or you, or you can go on Twitter and check out the artwork when Twitter is like actually up.
Yes.
Twitter was down earlier. I can't believe it. I
Elon.
can't believe I was so eternally on Twitter that I noticed when it goes down for like 10 minutes. What's wrong with me? You have that moment like you realize, oh, then you wait a few minutes and like, oh my god, what's right with me? Everyone has those moments of self-doubt, and that's when you gotta dig deep, man. You gotta dig deep and be afraid to ask for help. But maybe try to fix how you're looking at things too.
Yeah, definitely.
It's all theater of the mind, man. Just trying to maintain, just trying to keep a good head on your shoulders.
Yeah, and I think it's always good to remember, take it seriously enough to do well at it, but don't take it so seriously that you stress yourself out. Yes, Collie, everything's aligned. I don't know why it's freaking out today, but like I say, you're gonna have technological stuff, and you just gotta keep on keeping on, because technology is gonna do what it do.
Right. Well, to help fix that in a lot of my streams recently, the program I was using for the PNG, Viatatube, it just straight up was crashing my computer every time I tried to close it.
Oh
So,
no.
unless I'm actually getting the 3D, which like my computer is such a potato, I can only really get 3D if I'm playing like an ancient game or something, writing or talking. I just have a PNG in the bottom of the end because I figure it's okay for now until I get something better computer system, which may be a while off. Because there are a lot of instances you're not looking at me. And when the instances when you are looking at me, writing and chatting or something, that's when I can go ahead and use them. So having a dirty little potato of a computer has actually helped me become a better streamer. I mean, it's fucked up my Steam catalog, but it's also helped me become a better streamer. So I call it.
I think that's just kind of a good way of looking at it, and I think it's also it brings up another question. So Amanda, I don't think, did you and I meet when I was still in my PNG era? Because that's actually how I started out doing the VTubing thing, was just with the PNG, actually.
Yeah, I knew Mother Tiffy long before Amanda emerged in the desert, which is a nice way of saying I'm not talking about PLs or anything. But I knew Mother Tiffy for a while, and I think what put you on my radar was the visual Katawa Shoujo. That's what
yeah.
The Katawa Shoujo, because I played through that offline myself and gotten like 100. Well, I got 99 points because there's like one block of dialogue else we'll get without the guide. But I got everything else regardless, and it was it's interesting to see that another VTuber was checking this little project out about the disabled,
Y-
and being able to like see it. I think Katana Shoujo was great because it helped. You're looking past these people disabilities, like the disabilities of their story and their history, but it also just looking at them as human beings,
yes.
like their disabilities second to who they are,
Yep,
and
and
it's amazing to see how well rounded this is.
yeah, and actually,
Considering that where the game came from and where it was based
hmm
from, especially.
yeah, and I think that's just kind of a testament to if you really want to do a good job at something, you can do a good job at something and be informed. Um, yeah, and I really only went through Lily's route, but maybe I should do a reprisal of that visual novel and go through some other routes at some point.
Yeah. Well, do you want a little bit of spoiler for how the game is mechanically? Like, not the story, just mechanically.
Sure.
Lily's route is the hardest to get.
Ooh.
Like to get because basically, um, the way that all the routes are completely different, and it's great because that how you get them once they're in the route kind of helps reflect on who they are as a character. Essentially, Lily, I forget the exact number, but like there are like 9 questions in Lily's route, and you can only get the full ending if you get like 6 of them right. Like you have to trip enough positive flags to get the full
Nice.
ending. So it's actually really difficult to get her. As opposed to Shizune, the student council president, there's literally one choice to make in her story, and it is the most obvious choice in the fucking world. Anyone who's seen the deaf risk player, her story, you get one choice, and if you mess up that choice, you deserve what happened.
Oh no.
Yeah, and then I think Eri, the runner, hers is relatively simple. It's just like 2 questions, I think. Ren's is pretty weird. It's all twisted around and kind of messed up, but she's the artist with
Oh yeah, I
who
remember. With who uses
frequently
her
acts
feet.
differently. So her route being unconventional is pretty good. And then
Nice.
Eri, the shy one, the bookworm, the one I
Oh
was.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Her route is interesting in that I don't know if I should say all this, but her route is the only one where you don't automatically get to have the segs with her.
Ooh,
Because
interesting.
the other four, no matter what you do, there's going to be a sex scene.
Ooh,
With her,
nice.
you have to get the best end.
Well, there you go. I think that fits. You know, that you kind of have to work for it a little bit.
And I think I love that when a game mechanically, what you do in the game actually fits with the narrative you're trying to tell and the stories you're trying to tell. I think that's really a good mark of really good games. And then, of course, there are other visual novels that I've gone through recently. I did BlazBlue Central Fiction, which is a fighting game, but if you do the story mode, it's like a 30-hour visual novel with like a 10-second fight here and there.
Nice.
Like I'd read for like 2-3 hours. I was not prepared for BlazBlue Central Fiction to be a visual novel. I had 35 different voices that I was keeping track of because it's the last of the
Sweet.
story, and like so I'm burning my throat out reading for 3 hours straight, and then like for 10 seconds I like jump at C and hard D, occasionally standing C for like to drain HP if I'm getting low, etc. And then 3 more hours of reading story. and then and
Nice.
then and then the scariest point in my VTubing career ever happened when I was going up against uh, evil witch type of person,
Mhm.
and they were showing a big old cut screen, and then everything froze and everything shut down, and I couldn't
Oh
turn it on
no.
again, and had to restart everything. And I'm like, no, I'm convinced that it's not because I've got my laptop sitting on my bed, sitting on a blanket, completely blocking the air for flow. and overheating it. No, it's because the Switch in this video game that came out several years ago is reaching out through time and space and does not want me to defeat her. But
Well, I mean, that's a good way to play it off, because back in the day, I was doing a lot of Diablo on stream. Diablo 3 specifically, which is still one of my favorite comfy games, actually. And at one point, my whole stream froze. It crashed. It was right before, I forget which fight it was, but I kind of had to play it off on Twitter like, oh yeah, these big fat demons don't want me to come, vibe check them. So, it's really all about how you downplay or play up, like, an obvious malfunction. At this point, it's like, you're an anime character online. Have a little bit of fun with it. I mean, because, even today I've had a lot of technical issues that I don't normally have, and it's just one of those things that you gotta just say,
I'm
okay.
sorry, I'm probably cursed. It's me.
No, you're fine. But it's just one of those things. You just gotta say, this is the technology. This does not reflect on me as a creator, because even in the best of times, I'm gonna have things happen that I did not plan for, and that's okay.
That's actually a skill, being able to be that fluid of mind, being able to roll with the punches. That's actually helped me at work, too. I'm really good at going the proper routes, going through the proper channels, etc. But being able to actually pivot if something's not working, that's something I've had to work on for a while. And it's something that working with amazing people like you and Cara Malone and Choco Minato, people like that, and being able to pivot, change when something's not working, and when life throws you a curve, that's actually really helped me. And it's great, like, if I sit back and think, whenever I get too discouraged with this, how things are going, remember how not only the amazing people that I've met and how they've helped me, but the things I've learned that I can use in. So actually, just like I'm trying to leave the game better than when I found it, it's leaving me better than when it found me.
Well, there you go.
It's always great when something you love can help you try to be a better person as well.
Yeah.
When you can pay that forward.
Yeah, and I think that's when you know the thing that you're doing has some therapeutic value, is if it's actually improving you as a person. And that's kind of a rule of thumb I use a lot now, especially studying to be a mental health therapist, or as I like to call myself, your emotional guide, your companion. It's one of
support deeply.
Yes, basically, to say, if we're gonna engage in something just like the food or the drink we put in our bodies, if it's doing something good for us, then it's really something we should continue doing. If it's not, then maybe we need to look at that and say, is this really as good for me as I think it is? If it's something I enjoy doing, maybe I need to change the way that I'm engaging with it, because I had to do that a lot over the years, is say, well, if I like VTubing, is it just the way I'm engaging with it that's becoming toxic? And really identifying which parts of it are toxic to me and then not engaging in that. And I've had to help a lot of younger people remember to do that, because they'll just stay in it, and then say, why do I feel like such shit? And I'm like, because it's toxic. Because a human being can only absorb so much toxicity before it starts really having a negative impact on your beingness.
Yeah, you can only gaze so long into the abyss before the abyss starts gazing back into you.
Yes. And that's, I think that's a really good way of putting it, and I think that that's one of the things I want to continue to do, is to be that hand that reaches into the abyss and says, I know it feels like you're gonna get sucked in, or some of you want to throw yourself head first into the abyss, but don't. And that's one of the things that motivated me to become a counselor, is noticing how many people needed just that one person to pull them back and say, I know you don't perceive it right now, but there's something on the other side of this that you should live to see.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
There's a lot of depression and a lot of hopelessness and mental illness in VTubing, and I'm not even trying to joke here. There's a lot of like really unhappy people as well. For the reasons I either get into this or start watching. So the fact that you're willing to put yourself out and help others it's a great blessing. We do appreciate it. But you've also got to remember, and this is something I need to remind myself as well again and again, that you've got to do it for you as well. That you've got to take care of yourself so that you can be there to take care of other people.
Yes.
It's a hard line to walk. You want to sacrifice. Oh my God! I can't believe I'm about to quote Dr. Fucking Phil. You would die for them, so why would you not live for them? That kind of thing.
Welcome in.
Hey,
welcome in.
A broken clock is right twice a day. Come on.
Yes. Big heart, mama. Sometimes small head. Sometimes. But, yeah, I think it's just being in my counseling program, it's really taught me that I do need to look out for myself. That as much as I care for people, I can't continue to give and give and give until I have nothing left, because then I won't be there for people who need me. But she has a bigger tail, indeed. I do have a big tail.
You can't be afraid to ask for help either. That
No.
was something. Especially early on. I wasn't willing to ask for help, and that actually created a lot more problems than a little inky situation that happened. Created a lot more problems than it should have.
Yeah.
So, you gotta remember that you've got this community, and the community is there for you as well.
Yes, and that's just kind of what I hope that I will be able to continue to model in this community, is that some of us are here because we genuinely care about other people. And, especially with a lot of discussion lately that I've been seeing on Twitter, I won't get into it too much, but I've been seeing a lot of discussion about collabs and what the point of collabs should or shouldn't be. And I'm just like, well, number one, I've learned that there are a lot of people who want to collab for, a lot of their own personal gain. And so when I collab with you or a couple of my really close friends, I consider that a very different situation, because I know you guys and I can trust you. Whereas a lot of people who have asked me to collab recently, I'm just like, but we barely talk, and this is coincidentally when one or more of my streams is doing well. And so it's just kind of like, I want to model genuine care for my community, but also kind of healthy, real relationships with people, not all this clout chasing and, effectively using people, I guess, for lack of a better word.
Well, for me, I guess maybe it's the fact that I know I'm never gonna be like anything like that. I'm never gonna be a huge I don't think I'm ever gonna even make money off it. It's more of a hobby. I always looked at collabs differently. I looked at collabs as, hey, I think you're cool. You might think I'm cool. You'll be wrong, but you might think I'm cool. We should get together and have a fun time and maybe make a little content out of it.
Yeah.
It goes back to several months. In my outfit, there's a woman by the name of Mina Vanilla, this really motherly, sweetheart type of VTuber. She makes me bread a lot. She even has her little babies on stream occasionally. And she
Ah.
reached out and said, "Hey, I'm back home recently, and I'll go ahead and it's been a while since I collabed. I'll entertain possible collabs with anyone who replies to this message." And you know, I shot my shot. As a week, I shot my shot, and I said, "Hey, I'd like to collab with you. That'd be interesting." And oh god, Mina was the nicest, sweetest person. I
Oh,
was there
that's so
collaborating with
cute.
Chad and kind of helping me through, and that inspired me for what I called the week I shot my shot. I asked six different people to collab, and I'm like, "Hey, if even one of them, then that's cool." All of them agreed. Every single one of them, and
Whoa.
I had like 6 collabs in 1 week. Oh my
Dude.
god, this is amazing. So,
That's
because I
really
found out
cool.
that as far as reaching out, I was really upset because like I thought, why aren't people reaching out? Like, did I not pay my dues or anything? Like, no, people are just scared to reach out.
Yes.
Meanwhile, I'm sending collab requests to literally every single in my group server, my collective server, and seeing who's up for something at like 4 in the afternoon on a Wednesday, and then still being shocked when like 9 or 10 people are like, "Yeah, sure." I guess yeah. It's just, and I this goes back to you were talking about. I saw the post you were talking about why to call. Um, I feel the type of people who are looking at collabs like. I feel like those are the type of people who are looking into getting into VTubing for the money. And if you're getting into
Yeah,
VTubing for the
absolutely.
money, get the fuck out right now. Like,
Yep.
not only are you doing it for the wrong reason, but the market is so oversaturated. There's literally
Yes.
hundreds of thousands of VTubers out now that you got to do it for a reason. Like,
Yep.
find your reason, but it can't be money.
It can't be just, you know, it's really kind of funny that you bring that up because I was just talking with somebody a little while back who kind of knew me back during my first year, and they said, "Well, don't you get upset when you don't have as many viewers as you used to have, you know, because back in the day I was averaging 20 or 30 or whatever." And I'm just like, you know, I could be upset about that, but I said, I'm here for a different reason. If I were only doing it for the fame and the numbers, I would have made completely different choices about content. So I've just been reminding people, if money is your only reason for doing this, that's not going to keep you in it. There's got to be something that you get your own satisfaction from, and if the money comes along with it, fantastic. Welcome in,
Plus, if
Runia.
you're doing it for the numbers, I don't know. There's no other way, but the numbers can bullshit sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I always bring up my biggest example, and did this on my anniversary recently. One of my first streams was as Guero the Cactus, which was kind of a silly character I had back. The story ended up turning serious, like it always. And it was so you were there. It was the Guero the Cactus fortune telling.
Yes, I
I did
was.
not tell anyone. I did not tell anyone how I was gonna do telling. And what happened was I was at work, and I got like a box of alphabet cookies,
Mm-hmm.
and I did one on stream. I put on a TTS thing. I pulled out a bag of cookies, put out all the letters, and then used the Scrabble dictionary to put out the biggest word I could. It was kind of a send up on mysticism and stuff. But goofy idea. But I'm surprised I put out options. Anyone want their fortunes read? And I got so many offers that I actually had to turn a couple down because I ran out of cookies.
Oh my
But I bring this up because that stream officially has 3 views.
Oh my.
Problem is, you can count 12 people in the fucking chat in that one stream. How's that possible?
Yeah.
12 people in chat, just chatting alone. 3 of you. Thank you, Susan. Very cool. Except it's not. I'm drinking the hump.
I mean, see, and this is why I always tell people the numbers, it's like if you've ever played that game Portal, there's this refrain that's like the cake is a lie, basically, and
Yeah.
I always like to tell people numbers lie in this community specifically because you can have a VTuber that's got thousands and tens of thousands of followers, whatever, all these other metrics, but it's not necessarily a complete measurement of who they are. It's also not a complete reflection of their popularity, if we want to even go there with that.
Yeah. Plus the rules keep changing. Like I forget who posted it. There's another post I saw on Twitter. Between looking for pictures of muscular anime women, which is talking about how Twitch views. I think it's Twitch views are different.
Yes.
Where like people's view counts are absolutely plummeting. Like I think the average streamer gets like 3 people now, because it's not just who's lurking, it's who's chatting or something. I don't know if that's happening to YouTube as well, but it's just that I think that's one of the few things that kept me sane when I was worrying about the numbers. Is that the numbers can be bullshit most of the time.
Yes.
So you've got to do what's in your heart.
Yeah, basically, and you've got to remember this number or these things are not a complete reflection of my worth, my value, my skill, my talent, etc. And I think that's one thing that, is the same thing that you got to do when you create art. Not everything is going to be a bestseller and not everything is going to make money, but, if you just if the only reason you're doing art is to make, a bajillion dollars, most of us are not going to make a bajillion dollars. So there's got to be, like I said, some intrinsic value in the act itself. To play, to have fun, to just enjoy.
That does go back to the question of why. That question may change from time to time. And it's good to change and just reassess yourself regularly. Like I'll be doing every 3 months or so. The channel is called the Amanda Splatz Project, and I reassess the project every few months. What my priority, what I want to focus on, etc. And the things that keep me going. That's the creative writing.
Yeah.
The pro wrestling I do, which has a lot of booking, and collabs with amazing people. Just be able to do creativity and share what I love with the world. Yeah. And golf. There's a lot of fucking golf on my channel. That surprised me when I realized it. But then I went out and I joined a couple of golfing communities. Like this one old arcade game I love, Neo Turf Masters, greatest arcade game ever. It's actually got a burgeoning community for
nice
arcade game from the 90s. So it's always I think that's one of the few good things about the internet is that even with these little niche things like Neo Turf Masters, some little that maybe only a few people remember, they're communities so you can meet usually really good people based around the interests that you like.
Yeah.
400 yards, man. Those are some Tony Almeida numbers. Even Lando couldn't do that.
So it's also just really funny too because I've started doing tarot streams a lot more regularly, and I'm always shocked how many people show up and find me for that, and they're like, "Oh, would you do a reading for me?" Like, I actually read tarot semi-professionally way before I came into the VTuber space, so it's been really interesting to watch people want to come to those streams, want to have their fortunes read. And it's always really funny to me that many people are like, how the hell are you doing that? They're like, it's like you have eyes in my room somehow and you're able to see things. And I'm like, well, when you do this for long enough and when you do it for as long as I have, you just start to get a sense for things. And I believe there are certain people who have the gift And I might be one of those
Yeah,
people.
it's because like how it's like she's got eyes in my room. Just because she's in your walls.
I'm in your walls. I see everything.
Well, good. Could you look at that one outlet down? Like the top one doesn't work. Like I've had to move the fridge plug over. It's really annoying because I'm trying to get the air fryer going in the and it's just pissing me off. Could you check that? Plus, I think there's a leak in the wall. Okay, thanks.
I'm an oracle.
We're not charging you rent.
I'm an oracle, not an electrician, but there you go.
There you go.
So,
But yeah, I've had to be careful. And sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
As far as tarot cards go, one of the biggest debacles on my channel, and you were someone because I'd actually gotten a list of people who wanted just straight tarot card readings.
oh
I
my
was gonna
god.
do the whole Celtic Cross, the 10 card one, but I got so many people who were interested, I scaled it back. So what I did, I found a website online. I think it's tarot.com.
Yes.
But I don't want to advertise them because of what happened. Um, Signed up for free, and boobs. All these tarot cards and boobs on them.
Boobs.
Oh my god. So I went ahead and instead I was going to use this old Nintendo game called Taboo, which was an old NES game by Rare, which is actually a tarot card simulator. It does Celtic Cross on it.
Oh, cool.
Oh my god, this is a Nintendo game from the early 90s. There's all the censorship, Nintendo ultra censoring everything. They somehow got boobs in the game.
Oh my god.
Like I think it's the Strength and the Empress. They got boobs. Like,
Boobs.
oh my god, I can't show this. I had to. It got so bad. I had to choose a deck on the website that's just pictures of cats. We did a cat tarot stream. I feel like they say if life hands you lemons, they make lemonade. But what do you do if your cat shits on the lemons first? You can't do a whole lot.
Ew.
So, well, we fix it though. Like next time when Sandy did a reading for Salty Kershey on his channel using Taboo for NES, we just hid the screen before every single card to make sure it wasn't one pending one.
That's
Yeah, call you in a Nintendo game and have that. How they got
boobs.
away with it. I'm really surprised.
But yeah, speaking of tarot readings, so my friend Runia actually got to do one for me a couple of weeks ago, when I did a collab with her, but it was using something called the Harrow deck from Pathfinder, which was really neat, and it was really cool because it was freaking accurate. So that was a fun experience. So if
Well,
you
tarot. Oh, sorry. I was just
Go
saying,
ahead.
Tarot is very popular. Like it's everywhere. Like even if you don't know tarot, like the characters you see, like the star and the sun, the priestess, the fool, especially the fool.
the
You see
devil,
them
the
everywhere.
tower.
Magical drop. There's magical drop, which is this cute little puzzle game that has the tarot as characters, and even Balatro, one of the big streamer games right now. Even that has tarot cards in the back.
Ooh.
So it's amazing how how this exists. Even with the fact that they're not really even initially supposed to be for divination. Like they were just like normal playing cards, and
Yeah,
then
originally.
someone decided, hey, let's do them tell people's fortunes.
Which I think is really cool. That's happened, and I've actually seen a few tarot card readers who actually still use playing cards, but they have given their playing cards meanings. So I think that's just really fascinating that we even still have that tradition alive and well, even with more specifically made tarot cards in existence now.
Yeah, you can predict almost anything using almost anything these days. Like, you got people reading tea leaves. You had an octopus that was, like, reading They had an octopus that was predicting soccer games, and supposedly it actually came really.
Wow. Now
But
that's something else.
yeah, but bringing up Balatro, the original idea we had was, I'm a degenerate gambler. I'll play a lot of Balatro. I don't think. Have you ever played it, Mother Pete?
I have not. I have watched my friends play, but I'm curious because you originally contacted me and you were like, hey, we should go over the tarot elements, so I'm all ears.
Yeah, like what we were gonna do is, I wanted you to like just briefly tell what a card does means in the tarot, and then I will tell you what the corresponding card does in Balatro.
That
I feel
sounds
like
like
to do that.
fun.
Do you think it? I know you want to wrap in like an hour or so, but do you think we got enough time? I'd
I
like
think we got plenty of time. Yeah.
to. All right. Well, so while you get set up, I got the list ready. What Balatro is? It's basically video poker with a lot of bullshit. You play poker hands. You try to hit. You also get jokers, which affect the world. You
Hmm.
play hands to get chips and multipliers. You have special spectral cards that do amazing things. You got jokers that give bonuses. You can it's literally a roguelike deck builder because you can change the cards in your hand even though deck. Like you can
Ooh.
enhance the cards and things like that. And it's got tarot cards, it's got planet cards, it's spectral cards. It's a whole thing. It's
Ooh.
like rushes of dopamine when you find. It's one of those games where it's great because you try to break like everything with the right combination of two or three jokers. You can break. There's a meme called Main Inf. I think MANEINF.
Hmm.
Where you've gotten the right combination to break things so hard it runs out of numbers and it's just like over.
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
still working on that.
I would love
So
to
I've got
learn
got
how
the
to
list.
read tea leaves, by the way. I think that'd be fun to learn how you're supposed to do it.
Yeah, well, I don't know, man. Every time I finish my tea, when I try to do that, I don't have any leaves. Maybe I should stop using Arnold Palmer, but I do it
Yeah,
for
that
taste.
might help. Yeah, I think it'd
How would
be interesting to learn
one
though.
read tea leaves? Yeah, it would. Oh, sorry, I was with colleagues. How would one read tea leaves? I don't know. Very carefully, from left to right. It,
And maybe when they're not
I don't fucking know.
when they're not too wet. Um I think it would be the
Yeah, I don't know about
same.
reading tea leaves.
I think it would be the same as like reading bones or anything like that, where you kind of throw them and it just kind of you learn how to interpret them based on how they line up in the cup or something like that. There must be
Yeah, I
some
remember.
methodology to that.
Yeah, I remember the last time I tried throwing bones. They kicked me out of the catacombs. I'm still not allowed to come back to France.
Yeah, I think those skellies were like, no, you can't use my bones for that. Go away.
That was a boner if there ever was one. Using the traditional sense of the word,
Yes.
not the mod. Oh my god, I hate to bring this up on a Mother TV stream once we finally get a collab, but it just upsets me so much that this word goon. Oh my god, that this word that has been for decades it meant to be like a higher like an underling or a
Yes.
henchman, some kind of cannon fodder for the hero. That word is now taken up a completely different meaning. Oh my god.
Yes. Unfortunately.
It's amazing how the human language changes and evolves with the ethos and the whims of the period. But fucking stop, all right?
The
Stop ruining
internet.
things I love.
I blame the internet because it's the same thing with the word like mommy. I'm like, it used to be a wholesome word, but a lot of you have just turned that into like ultimate like kink territory, and I'm like, excuse me. Remember when some of these words used to be freaking wholesome, you guys?
Well, I remember a time when nurses weren't like fetishized as much as they're because I new nurses growing up. Like they're actually really dedicated to their job and stuff. And I was always wondering why people were fetishizing them so much.
Yeah, I mean, I guess
Like,
there's
I'm not
like
trying to kink shame or anything.
no, and I think there's like a particular mindset, but it just kind of goes back to like, read the room. Sometimes people are into that, and sometimes they just want to like hang out and have a good time, not have like a bunch of, very intense energy about it. But yeah, I would be interested to hear what the tarot thing is like in that game because I've seen a few of my friends play it, but I've never watched like an extended playthrough of it. So I'd be interested to hear what some of that element is and what it does.
Some of them are really specific, but and I'll point them out when we get to this one. There are like 2 or 3 of them that will help you actually break the game. And towards the end there, we actually make it a little easy towards the end because there are like 4 of them that do the same thing towards the end. But yeah, it's good if you get a vast majority of these will only help you with specific runs, but there are a couple of them that'll help you no matter what.
Nice.
So I've got the list. Like I know what each of them does, but I don't remember so like I just got that pulled up already. Whenever.
Yeah, I'm ready when you are. If you just want to talk about it, or do you want me to pull up the wiki?
What I was thinking we could do was that you could talk for a moment about what the specific card means as tarot.
Oh, sure, yeah.
And then I could explain what it does in Mulatto, and then you can
Sure.
let me know if you think that matches what it means.
Sure, go for it.
So let's start with 0, the Fool. What does the Fool mean in tarot?
So for me, like it has kind of a dual meaning. So sometimes that card means that you're the one being kind of foolish by not kind of looking at what's ahead. But to me, it also has a positive potential meaning that you are willing to undertake a foolish action for a as yet seen reward or solution to a problem.
Also, and I've heard interpretations of it being like the start of the journey, like the whole story of the minor arcana.
Yes.
It's like the start of a journey.
Yep.
The world.
The very
so
beginning.
The Mulatto, if you use the Fool properly, you can almost break the game. What he does is he creates a copy of the last tarot card or planet card you use.
Oh, nice.
Planet cards buff up certain hands. So, for example, if the last tarot card you played was Death, and then you play the Fool, then you have a copy of Death sitting in the pocket.
Oh.
This is useful because usually when you open up these packs, you don't get to keep it in your pocket. You have to play it immediately. So if you play the Fool immediately, then get that card in your pocket, that definitely helps so you can use it later. So the Fool, if used properly, and I think that kind of fits because he's kind of, I don't know how it fits into the story itself. It's kind of on his own journey itself, but it really does help if you get the Fool at just the right time.
Yeah, and I think that's really indicative of life too, is that if you take some actions sometimes that people think like, what are you doing? You're making a fool out of yourself. Sometimes that can actually open up a way and a result that can bring you to places that without being in the Fool energy, you might not have been able to succeed.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, now the Magician. Number 1, the Magician.
I would say, for me, the Magician is all about beginning to work that magic, beginning to practice that alchemy, and putting the ingredients together to make something happen, and starting to put that vision together for what you're starting to cast or bring into the world, what kind of result that you're looking for.
That's interesting. What what the magician does that kind of fits with Balatro. What he does, he can turn 2 of the cards in your deck into lucky cards. Look,
Ooh.
I've never found lucky cards as useful, but when you play a lucky card, there is a, well, the exact numbers. There's a 1 in 5 chance you get 20 multiplier, and a 1 in 15 chance you'll get $20. So the
Ooh.
odds are really bad, but when it hits, it can save a run. So the magician
Nice.
lets you turn your 2 cards into lucky cards. So that kind of goes with the transformation, the alpha.
Yeah, I would say so. I would definitely say so.
And it being lucky too, like, and also learning because lucky cards don't hit nearly as much. Like, I believe almost every other card enhancement, you're guaranteed something, but that's only one where you're not. So that's about the learning and the practicing. So let's move on. What is the High Priestess?
Ooh, okay, so the High Priestess is, for me, all about intuition. It's all about being like the ultimate sort of divine, feminine, creative energy. So for me, the High Priestess is all about if you're trying to give birth to a new creative endeavor or you're trying to make a move at the right time, the High Priestess is the card that you want to see, because the High Priestess basically says you're listening to your intuition and your timing is right as it should be. So for me, that's really indicative of that card, but also being able to see the truth of a situation or what might happen if you make a certain move. So the High Priestess is also about evaluating your options and trying to select the one that might give you the best outcome.
Well, it's actually really fascinating you bring this up because in Balatro, the High Priestess gives you 2 random planet cards. What the planet cards are, they're also consumables. They will buff up a certain hand. Like if you get, I believe, Earth, then if you play a full house, it's worth more. If you get a Jupiter card, if you play a flesh, it's worth more. And there are a couple of secret hands in Balatro. But basically, if you play the High Priestess, you get 2 random planet cards. And that just go to the creation and the creativity of actually giving birth to, do you see these planet cards? Do you want to go ahead and buff them up in your hand, or does that not fit with what you have? Do you want to just go ahead and sell them for?
Interesting. That's an interesting mechanic to put with that card. I would say that fits.
So next up is the Empress. What is the
Ooh.
Empress?
Okay, so the Empress is again that really feminine energy, but unlike the High Priestess, the Empress is all about knowing how to control and use wealth and resources to command another set of resources. So if you get the Empress, it usually means you have mastered the ability to identify the resources you have and utilize them accordingly to achieve a goal, while also being able to mobilize other assets if you need them, just like an Empress really would.
Well, that's actually perfect. A lot of a lot of thought must have gone to these. A lot of these so far are perfect. The Empress in Balatro adds molt to 2 of your cards. Whenever you play a hand, there's a bonus, which is the chips. The blue box you ever seen is the chips, and then there's also multiplier. Like when you play a hand, each hand is worth a certain amount of chips and a certain multiplier. And jokers and things add multipliers and things like that. So, for example, if a hand is worth 30 chips and an X4 multiplier, then it's worth 120 chips. What the Empress does, it adds 4 molt, which means the amount of chips you have, multiply it by another 4 multipliers. So that is a lot of wealth management. And that can really help a run. because you get the chips, but then times a certain amount.
Yes.
So that does make sense with the wealth management and being smart with those type of things.
Yep, and kind of knowing what you have and knowing what you can do is also very much Empress energy to basically say, don't fall for distractions and be very, very specific about how you're moving and why and how much you're allocating to certain things.
Exactly. Okay, so number 4, the Emperor. Moving from the Empress to Emperor. What does he mean to you?
Okay, so the Emperor to me is a very masculine card, and it's usually, when it comes up, I usually have like a lot of father figure energy with that card. They're pretty much very, I would say the Emperor has a lot of strictness. It also has a lot of commanding energy. So a little bit like the Empress, the Emperor knows how to move resources, but unlike the Empress, that card is much more forceful and is much more like move out of my way, to the point where if that card shows up, it's kind of like the bulldozer of the tarot card deck. When that shows up, it's kind of like move out of the way, or that it has the power to move obstacles or change the game, quite literally. And we are just hanging out and having chit-chat time with a really good friend of mine. That's what we're doing today.
I'm absolutely honored. My name is Amanda Splatz of the Amanda Splatz Project, and I'm happy to be here.
And if you're not already following them on YouTube, you definitely should go give them a follow. You should go check out their cool content. They mostly stream on the YouTubes. I believe it's under pretty much the same name, right? Amanda Splatz?
Yeah, at Amanda Splatz, yeah. It's like I would stream to Kick and Twitch if I thought my potato could handle it. But yeah, as far as the Emperor goes, talking about resource management and bulldozing over, it's perfect. In Balatro, using the Emperor gives you 2 random tarot cards. And it's kind of hilarious. I believe it's actually been a situation where I play the Emperor, and it gives me like the Fool. So I play the Fool, which has the Emperor, and then I just keep getting more and more tarot cards. But yeah, talk about forceful, talk about resource management. Just straight up getting 2 random tarot cards for 1.
Yep, there you go. There you go.
So number 5, the Hierophant. What is I've actually used this term in my own stories, the Hierophant. What does that mean?
I usually interpret this card as the keeper of traditions, the keeper of old knowledge, old ways. I usually interpret that as a kind of mystery school kind of vibe where they have secret ways of getting certain results. So I kind of look at them as a figure who knows how to make a certain thing possible by going in routes or going in ways that are not commonly known. So that's the way I would interpret that card. Also, it's a sign that you need more knowledge sometimes about a situation. Is usually how I will interpret that card as well, or that there are other pieces of the situation you might not be aware of and might need to look deeper. So it's kind of a strategy card in a way.
And that is perfect. So essentially, the Hierophant is kind of in Balatro, it's kind of like the Empress, where instead of making a card give you more multi, he gives you more bonus, more chips. So if you play the Hierophant and turn 2 cards into bonus card, that are worth a lot more chips. And I think it kind of makes sense how you describe it, because a lot of the cards, a lot of bonus, talk about how much multi you get. A lot of them don't affect the chips. So the fact that it's the Hierophant that helps you with the that is quite. So
Hmm.
next up is the lovers. What's your interpretation
Ew.
of the lovers?
So the lovers is usually a sign, or I typically read it that there is some sort of partnership. So typically when you have that card, it's usually I will interpret it as collaboration, agreements, um, deals, or being on the same page. So basically, for me, the lovers is all about relationship and kind of what one person might expect from another, or like what a certain result has been agreed upon. So definitely a collaboration card, and definitely a card that says you have someone who's in your corner and is working with you to get a certain result. So I could see that being a very collaborative, very assistive kind of card in some way.
Well, it's amazing that you use the word collaborative because it actually fits with the mechanics of the. It turns one card into a wild card.
Yeah,
And but
interesting.
that's not for the rank. It's just the suit. It can be any suit. But the
Hmm,
way that wild cards work in Balatro, it's considered to be all four suits simultaneously. So if a card becomes a
interesting.
wild card, it's a club, a diamond, a heart, and a spade, which is great if you're trying to fill out a flip or something. But there are some boss blinds that disable a certain suit, and that always gets disabled.
Ah,
Yeah, I didn't bring that up. There are bosses in Balatro.
ooh,
You
interesting.
have eight antes, which is like a small blind, a big blind, and then a boss blind.
Hmm,
And the eighth one is the big bad, and they can do different. The bosses can do different things to your hands. But the lovers is about as collaborative as it gets because there's one card essentially into four different suits.
hmm.
Okay. Next one is the chariot. Chariot's a huge one in Balat. What do you think?
Ooh, okay. So I personally love the chariot card. So for me, this card is not only about movement, but it's a card that signifies that you are in command of how you move forward, where you go in life, where you go with your decisions. And this is also about control and having control over your environment, especially with the chariot, because it is being pulled by horses in traditional tarot. So there is very much this idea of your energy being one, of being able to control other things that are moving and telling them where to go. So I would not be surprised if some of that is reflected there too, that there's a certain level of being able to move however you want. Um, and I would add to that, I think the chariot also signifies self determination. Like, where do you want this to go? Where do you want to end up? And are you in the driver's seat or not? Because usually when that card comes up, it's also a question of who's in control. Is it you or the horses?
Right. Well, that makes sense.
Come on in.
Talking about brief though about being in the driver's seat. Um, I've been watching back to Anti Brightlock. I believe Alana is the first name. I
Yes.
don't know if I pronounced that right. And that
Yes.
combat wheelchair she has that is absolutely love that.
Yes, indeed.
But as far as the chariot and Balatros were the most tarot cards because it turns the card into a steel card. Now, when you play a hand in Balatro, you've got like 8 cards in front of you, and you make a 5-card poker. If the steel card is sitting in your pocket, and you don't play it when you play a hand, and then the steel card takes your entire final score and multiplies it by 1.5.
Oh,
Steel cards
interesting.
are if you want to actually beat the game and like beat and get to a name, steel cards are almost mandatory because If you put something in a steel card, have it sitting in your hand the whole time, that's 1.5, 1.5, 1.5 time. And it is absolutely mandatory. So yeah, the chariot is quite a... Alright, next up, this is actually my favorite character in Magical Drop. The Justice. What does the Justice mean?
Ooh, okay, so that's a juicy card. Also, thanks, Collie, for bringing in the tea. What kind did you make me? Because I noticed you brought it in, but I didn't get to see what it was. Smells like a...
Bard.
Oh, yeah, give it up for Collie. Always making me hot tea. It smells like a Japanese variety. Kind of smells a bit like rice, actually.
Great Japanese because you're talking with the N. You make your own. It's great.
So I would say...
Always on top. On top of the situation. Thanks, golly.
Nice. Well, I'm gonna enjoy drinking it. Hopefully I don't drink away my future before I have time to read it. So I would say... which card were we on again?
We're up to number 8, the Justice.
Okay, yes. So I love that card. Because to me, it either has it has two meanings to me. It means either you're gonna get a reward or a punishment based on the results of your actions, right? So it can mean a personal justice in terms of you are about to reap what you've sowed in all these past actions, or that you are about to be delivered some well-deserved justice from someone else who has done wrong by you. So I can interpret the card as both be careful how you act, because you might actually make things more difficult for yourself in the future, or even if things seem like they're fucked, you might have a way forward despite the way it looks presently, is the way I like to interpret that card.
It's interesting. Because I didn't understand the interpretation of how this is a Balatro. What the Justice does in Balatro, it turns one card into a glass card. Now, when you play a glass card, it doubles your score, period, bar none. But there's also a 1 in 4 chance that the card will be completely destroyed after scoring it.
Huh.
So it's very powerful, but there's a chance to lose it permanently.
Ooh. Interesting.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that ties into the Justice, but I'm sure there's a good reason. It might just be because it was next to the Chariot, which.
I mean, I could see that being kind of reflective of, hey, if you're not careful about the choices you make, it could go really well for you, or you might end up losing the whole thing. I could see why that might work that way. It makes a little bit of sense in that you could either come out the winner or an extreme sort of loser in that sense, if not careful.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. Thank you for it always helps me sort things up. That's always great. So next up, number 9, the Hermit. What is the Hermit?
Oh, okay, so the Hermit to me is all about contemplation, quiet time, taking the time to study a situation, and particularly to look at elements that might not be serving you, and to plot a better way forward if necessary. So when this card comes up, it's usually re-evaluation time, and to move carefully with as much knowledge as possible about what to do next.
Oh, now maybe you can help me understand this one too. Then, in Balatro, the hermit just doubles the amount of money you have, up to $20. That's all it does. It just
That's
doubles your money up to $20.
that's kind of weird, but
Maybe the hermit was a Sigma male on his grind setting.
maybe. I mean, I could kind of see how maybe they're interpreting that like, because the hermit as a tarot figure is kind of like away from society and they sort of have to take care of their own resources as well. So I don't know. Maybe that has to do with how they're interpreting that, because I would say the hermit also has to do with kind of gathering unexpected resources as well, especially in uncharted territory. So maybe that's where they're getting some of that from.
Yeah. Well, as far as strategy goes, it's always good to see the hermit because, like, as long as you've got enough money to buy it, you're automatically doubling the money. So it's always good to get it. So, not to spoil anything about the last chapter, but Amanda Splats was almost the Wheel of Fortune. Ken, what is your interpretation of the Wheel of Fortune?
I would say the Wheel of Fortune to me has two meanings. The biggest one being you've worked hard towards something. So you've taken all the right moves up until this point, and it's basically the payoff card. It's the card that when it shows up is basically the universe signaling, hey, you've done all the things in the right order, your timing has been impeccable, and now you're about to hit the jackpot. I also would say that that card represents possibilities, and that more possibilities are opening for you. So even though it looks like maybe there's only one or two pathways forward, the Wheel of Fortune kind of gets you to pause and say, well, is that true? Because just like the wheel, there are many different things that could land on, and therefore there are many different ways something can be solved.
That's a beautiful interpretation. It's interesting in Balatro. The wheel is probably the biggest meme in the game. Oh, Updale Arc and IRS XE want to No, I'm busy being an anime girl with my mentor on. So what the wheel does, it's the biggest meme in Balatro. There's a 1 in 4 chance it will enhance one Joker. I think that's in there and change the world. It could either turn them into foil, which gives them more chips, holographic, which is more malt, or polychrome, which is 1.5 times scored. Basically, it has a 1 in 4 chance to permanently make one of your, but there's a 3 in 4 chance that it'll just say nope and disappear. And just that word nope popping up on the screen, that's what the biggest meme in Balatro.
Nice.
People see the wheel, they use it, they take it yet, nope, and it's gone. Taking your chances. Alright, so number 11 is the strength. What's your interpretation of the strength?
Strength means, for me, when that card shows up, it's pretty much a sign that you either have the strength to get through a situation or that the current situation is going to test your resolve. It's basically the card that says, hey, are you going to be stubborn or are you going to crumble and fall before this situation? Because usually in traditional art for that card, we have someone who's wrestling with a tiger or a lion or something like that. And so for me, that card is usually about tackling those things that we fear most and having the strength to face those, even if we're afraid we might end up getting devoured. It's about having the courage to face that, or being tested to see if you have the courage in the first place.
kind of and when you have that kind of courage to go through those kind of situations, it kind of
Mm-hmm.
helps build character, helps build you up as a person, and that goes to what
Absolutely.
the strength does in Balatro. In Balatro, it upgrades the rank of 2 cards. So if you use the
Nice.
strength on a 5, it becomes a 6. If you use it on a king, it becomes an ace. If you use it on an ace, it becomes a 2. So be really screwed to run up. But it does it makes your card stronger by 1 rank.
Nice. That fits,
So
I'd
it's a
say.
very positive card. Yeah, it's very. And the positive cards, that's where it ends, because the next one, oh boy, number 12. Give me your interpretation of the Hanged Man.
Hmm. So I would say the Hanged Man, it's just kind of a card that signals, boy, you got yourself in a sticky situation. You've gotten yourself into a situation you may not be able to get yourself out of unless you think fast and think outside the box. So usually when that card comes up, it's a big warning sign to say, hey, something's got you hanging upside down. Some part of the situation isn't what it appears to be, or isn't what you thought it was. And in order to get out of it, you're going to have to do some gymnastics and hope that you can make a different move. Otherwise, you're going to be stuck there and it's game over.
That's actually pretty perfect, because the Hanged Man in Balatro can help you get out of a situation like that. The Hanged Man lets you destroy 2 of the cards in your deck. So, like, maybe if a build isn't going up, because every time you play a hand, your deck is shuffled. So maybe there's a lot of garbage in your hand that you don't
Mm-hmm.
get rid of. So the Hanged Man lets you destroy 2 cards. So it's helpful at getting out of those type of situations.
Yeah.
So next one, this is a little bit of a thorny one. Um, Number 13. Give me your interpretation of death.
Ooh, one of my most favorite cards to sort of read and play around with because, like, a lot of people interpret that as inherently sort of a negative card, and yes, in some ways it can signal the end. It can sometimes signal a literal death, but I actually like to interpret that as transformation because just like death in real life, if you believe in a soul, it's just a transformation. We're going from one phase to another phase, so I usually like to interpret either the death card as a final ending of something and also a transformation, a transition into something else.
Well, that's actually super perfect with the Bellatrix. So I'll deal with the Bellatrix before I get to the story. Um, the death is actually perfect. That it's probably the most important tarot Bellatrix. It turns 1 card into another. So
Nice.
let's say you've got a steel ace with a seal on it, and you've got a 3 of clubs. You play death, and you can turn that useless 3 of clubs into another steel ace with a seal on it. So it is literally be about transforming 1 card into another. Um, I know we're about halfway through. And this
We're
isn't telling
fine.
tales of school. Out of school, this is something that happened on stream. One time you were doing tarot stuff, and I'd
Mm-hmm.
asked for a pull for someone, and I didn't
Yes.
tell you what it was. Didn't tell anyone what it was. Then you pull in the death card, and
Mm-hmm.
I didn't tell you. I'd asked about my father. It was me asking about the situation with my father. I didn't tell anyone what that was. So since you pulled it, like I had to leave. Sorry,
Well,
everybody had to leave right after
just
that.
so you know, my intuition kind of told me that when I drew that card, which is why I kind of read it to you that way because I just had this feeling like, uh-oh, it's for somebody. And so I really tried to be gentle because I just had the sense of like, okay, this is really accurate, but this is also really not the card Amanda wanted to see right now.
Yeah, but and this is gonna sound fucking stupid, and I apologize about this, but kind of seeing your interpretation of death as a changing of situations, and seeing the interpretation of death in Balatra as changing, not just skill and subs, actually changing things. Um, Kind of helped me come, because like this, my father's. I'm not gonna tell a lot about it. Mother Splats doesn't like when I tell about personal family stuff, but
Mm-hmm.
he's not been well.
Yeah.
Like so. But it's like about the situation that I have to change it more so than anything. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, yeah, I'm an old hag. If y'all didn't know, I'm a little to old hags too.
It's okay. You're in good
With the
company.
problems that come with that. Thank you. That's just something that hasn't set right since it happened. And I do apologize for what happened. It's just I wasn't looking at the situation clearly, and listening to them just kind of helped me clear that things up. That we. But that
Mm.
is honestly why I stopped doing tarot card stuff on my channel,
Mm.
because like it kind of hit hard.
Yeah. And that's the thing about doing tarot. Like, it can be really useful, but sometimes stuff comes up in the cards that, people aren't prepared to deal with. So, I always try to remind people before I read for them, like, whatever question you're going to ask about, be sure you're prepared for the answer, because um, tarot will get right to the heart of the issue, and so some people are not prepared to face it like that.
Yeah, buddy, thank you so much for understanding, and your counsel's always been very.
Yeah, of course.
That'll lighten the mood back up a little bit, and we're done. Number 14. What's your opinion about the temperance?
Oh, the temperance card. Okay, so this is all about um, being judicious with your decisions, your resources, and making sound, careful decisions. And it's also a card that can reward being very selective in your choices. That's the way I usually interpret that card, is to say, whatever this upcoming situation is, it's going to require you to be more conservative with how much energy or money or time that you put into a certain situation.
That's actually kind of interesting how temperance works in Belatra with that, because it fits. Basically, you have a limited amount of Joker spots in the game, the amount of Jokers you can have. So you can sell your Joker at any time, make a little bit of money, and get that off of base. Temperance automatically gives you the sell value of all the Jokers up to $50. And
Wow.
it's only $50 because there's one card that Diega, which is initially worth $3 and does nothing else. But every time you have a blind, it gets more expensive by $3. So you can actually break the game by having it sitting there for a while. But
Oh,
yeah, it's
wow.
talking about making smart decisions that actually gives you money based on the jokers you've decided to hand it.
Huh. Interesting.
This is another spicy one. Number 15. Give me your interpretation on the devil.
Ooh, okay. So the devil is usually a card that I will interpret as either one, addictions, bad habits, or getting pulled into a situation where someone else is pulling your strings, or where someone else has sort of put like possibly negative energy on a situation. So usually when the devil card shows up, I will usually read that as you're in a situation that's gotten you by the balls, essentially, in that it knows how to get your goat. It knows how to force you into a bad decision or a bad habit or being reactive. So I would say the devil card is definitely a sign something else is going on here, and be wary of manipulation. Be wary of a trick.
Yeah, that's a very interesting interpretation, considering what the devil does. In Balatro, it turns one card into a gold card. Now, gold cards are tricky. If you beat a blind or beat a round, and you have a gold card sitting in your hand, you get $3. Now that sounds great, but the problem is then you have to keep that card in your hand until the end to get that $dollars instead of playing. So do you end up putting it on something that you should play it just so you can beat the round? Are you gonna catch by being too greedy and just blow the whole run?
Yep. That seems like it fits.
So number 16, what's your interpretation of the tower?
Ooh, I like this card. Not a lot of people do. The tower is an infamous tarot card. People don't usually like to see it because what it means is that some kind of structure or some kind of aspect of a person's life is basically falling down. It's falling apart. And so typically that can mean a structure that someone has relied on, a relationship, a job, a belief system. It's sort of, when it shows up, it's kind of a signal something is falling apart. Like the veneer on something is crumbling. But at the same time, it's also a card of freedom. It says, whatever structure was blocking you in the past, or whatever thought form was blocking you in the past, that is now falling apart, and now you are free to move on and move out of the structure that the tower was making, in a way to almost be like you're getting out of prison. In a way that it also offers an opportunity to get out and explore and build something new.
That is a very positive interpretation for usually a darker card.
Yes.
Although I think when it comes to Balatro, they didn't get that deep with it. What the tower does, it turns one card into a stone.
Huh.
And stone cards are weird because they don't have a suit, they don't have a rank. It's literally just a stone in your hand. But it's worth 50 chips as opposed to like 10 for the usual face card. So you can't do anything with it, but if you play it on its own, you get a lot of chips. So it is kind of getting yourself into a bad situation. Like, it's great on its own, but if you try to complete like a flush or create something where you need 5 cards, then it's really gonna mess you up. So that's kind of interesting that they chose. Although I think they just chose it because of the tower.
Well, yeah, because definitely in a lot of tarot cards, that art for that one is usually very dynamic and, kind of adds to its reputation of, oh no, it's the tower.
Okay, so then they've got 5 left, and I'll warn people. My explanations are going to be a little bit repetitive because 4 of these 5 do a pretty similar thing. So number 17, tell me about the star.
Oh, I love the star. Okay, so that is the card of dreamers. That is the card of hope. That is the card of, like, wishing for a good outcome. That is also a card for someone who is forward thinking and someone who thinks of new possibilities. So for me, that card is always a very positive one, as that it basically shows this situation could transform into a blessing of sorts, that there's something else that you have not seen yet that might come forward and sort of light the way, and not only be a guide, but be something that keeps you going in the middle of the proverbial dark night of the soul.
Kind of a shining light in the darkness.
Basically.
So, what the star is, it's one of 4 cards that does similar things. The star turns 3 of the cards in your hand into... Basically, what a lot of people do, what I like to go for like a flush deck, which means try to get as many things of one suit as possible. And you have a lot of options here. The star turns 3 of your cards into shining diamonds. That's right. So going from the star to the moon, number, I believe, 18. What's your interpretation of the moon?
Okay, so the moon card, I always like to interpret this as number 1, the creativity card, but also the shadow work card. Because even though the moon has a bright face, the moon also has a dark side. And so for me, that card is usually a sign that yes, there is a bright side to a given situation, and there are blessings, but there's also a hidden side to the situation that requires more contemplation, investigation, and kind of a quiet space to think about what is it really, and do I trust what I see on the face that's visible, or do I go around behind and see if the meaning changes?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of popular interpretation about the moon over history as well, about illusion and the 2 faces. However, in Balatro, the moon turns 3 cards into clubs.
Huh.
That's another
Interesting.
one that you use for utility. Okay, this is interesting. 19. What do you think about the sun?
The sun is kind of it's another one of my favorite cards because it's kind of the opposite of the moon. The sun card usually says if you've been working towards something and if you've been toiling kind of down in the dirt and kind of dealing with a lot of things and not feeling like you're getting recognition or not feeling like you're literally having your day in the sun card basically says, hey, all this work that you've put in, it's beginning to reap rewards, essentially, that there is growth possible, but also that there is more light on a certain situation. So I would say that card also offers clarity and a farther perception, a farther view of the situation instead of looking at it, right up close. So I would say the sun is typically a very positive card.
Yeah. It's like with the moon, with illusions and darkness and everything, you got the sun clearing everything out. Sunlight is the best disinfectant, as they say. But in Balatro, it just turns 3 cards to hearts. Like the moon turns 3 of them to clubs, so it's kind of the opposite of what the moon is doing.
Yeah.
Number 20, one of the big ones, Judgment. What does Judgment mean to you?
Oh, okay. So Judgment. When I see that card, it's number 1. I usually like to interpret it as there are some judgments going on either within yourself toward other people, or that the situation is being clouded because of lack of judgment toward the reality of the situation, and also a level of finality to the results of a situation. So Judgment says, have you evaluated this situation accordingly? And if not, and you've made a mistake, the results could be harsh. They could also go in your favor, but there is a lot of risk associated with that Judgment card. It's kind of like the Hammer card, as I like to say. So if your nose is clean, your nose is clean. If it's not, you could be in for a rough ride.
that's very interesting considering what it does in Balatro. It
Just for
creates a
yes,
random Joker.
yes, Collie, I
It,
agree.
oh my God, what's Collie doing now?
He's making a Hell
I
Taker
agree with him.
reference. Of course he is.
Helltaker was great. Sand Ruby streamed that once. It's great, but it's way too short.
Yeah, I
And
would
it's a
agree.
little disappointing. But yeah, Judgment gives you a free Joker. Just gives you a random. So
Wow. That's.
if you get it early on, it can help save a run.
Mm-hmm.
But later on, you've already got the maximum, so it's not that useful. But yeah, I have played Helltaker too. Like you know nothing about women in suits.
Yes.
I get it too.
That was like the main reason I was into that game. I did try the laser expansion, but Mommy is not good with puzzles, so I just quickly gave up and was like, I'm just here for the beautiful women. I'm not here for the puzzles. Just give me the women.
For the catchy tune.
Yes, the music.
Plus, it's free. You can't beat that. And we got the one left. The fool's journey comes to the end. Let me know about the world.
Okay, so the world card to me is all about completion. So just like the Fool was the beginning of the journey, the first steps, the first moves, the world is really about the final results. So it's basically a culmination of all your actions, all your choices, all your missed opportunities, all of that comes in at the world and basically says, this is what you were able to create, and this is how you're going to set yourself up for the next round, the next quest. So I really view the world as not only a completion of one thing, but a new beginning, in a way. So at the same time that one chapter is closing, you get to take the gifts of that completed chapter and bring it forward into whatever the next chapter, whatever the next round is.
And it's perfect with that's why I said the journey of the fool is what the major arcana is. Because, you know, you start back at the beginning, and who's back at the beginning? The fool. Going through that journey again. And yeah, y'all probably predicted it. Yeah, the world turned 3 selected cards into spades.
Nice.
So, yeah, star, moon, sun, world all essentially do this. It depends on how your deck is going. But yeah, that was. I see a lot. You can tell that for most of these, except like maybe the tower, they put a lot of effort into making them mechanically sound. Like Death. Death was absolutely spot on to what it means.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, someone at Balatro with the game that they know their stuff.
Yeah, I think that's really cool. Yeah, that was fun.
And before any fans, though, yes, I know you can get the soul through the tarot card, but the soul is not a tarot card. The soul is its cryptid card that shows up on the. So shut up. I know about it. So yeah, I thought that was interesting. Like I know you with the tarot, the actual traditional interpretation, but I keep seeing those characters in other media, and like in my story, I've had a couple of villains who base themselves on tarot cards, especially in the most recent chapter. So it's interesting seeing like a more traditional, as opposed to how they're interpreted, because a lot of people just interpret them at face value, just like surface, without actually looking deeper. It's one of the reasons I love collabing and talking with so many different people. Just getting their expertise and learning the amazing experiences they've had. Like there's this one guy by the name of Sensoka, and he actually works like a metal shop, and he's actually making physical, like stands and metal cards and things like that. And it's always cool to chat with him and see the type of physical stuff that. And I like to share my love of creative writing, more creative type of stuff. And I think that's one of the great things about there being so many so many VTubers out there, so many different kinds of genres and everything. You get
Yeah.
you're gonna find something you love if you look hard.
Right, and that's why I'm so passionate about telling other people who get into VTubing and saying, look, I understand that you see a lot of VTubers who make it big playing games and only doing certain kind of content and um, kind of forwarding this dialogue that this is what you need to do and this is only what you do to become like a real VTuber. And I always like to remind people, no, just like genres of books, movies, TV, anything like that, we're all a bunch of different genres and we all have our place. And I think we all need to remember that we're actually better as a community when we are as diverse as we can be and that we give each other permission to make the content that makes our hearts sing. Because I see so many people who say, well, I could never be a VTuber because I'm not good at games or, I can't sing. And I'm like, well, then do other content that you do like, that you feel comfortable with. Just because right now no one's watching doesn't mean you won't make an audience over time. Because I used to think that about my tarot and my writing streams and even my ASMR, really. I used to think, like, well, nobody's going to watch that because they want to watch me play games. And what I had to learn over 5 years now is no. There will be an audience for what you like doing. It might just take longer to grow that audience, but once you do, they're going to be dedicated. And that's really what you want. You want dedicated people.
Right, and it's also like, if you try to play the popular stuff just to get views, people are going to come because they want to see the popular stuff. It's about getting a community together, people that want to vibe with you for what you're doing and enjoy what you're doing.
Right, and to basically remind them, hey, I'm a human being. I have like a multitude of interests, or I have like a variety of different talents. And I think that's important to keep showcasing in the VTuber community because, yeah, there are a lot of people who can sing well, like Iron Mouse. There are a lot of people who can game well, like Markiplier and Jacksepticeye, even though they don't count as VTubers. They are content creators, and yeah, they've built an audience around that. But there are also people who build an audience around reading bedtime stories or writing short stories or, just doing whatever makes them happy. And I think the more that we can just encourage people to be themselves and experiment and not worry about failure. And I guess like this would be the ending note that I want to leave on, is to remind people, don't be afraid of failure. It means that you're learning and that you have it means that you have an opportunity to learn. And it means that you have an opportunity to improve. And I see so many young people. Yes, I'm going to sound like your freaking mom. I see so many young people that don't want to do something because they're afraid it's not going to be perfect. And I just feel like I want to remind people, no one starts out perfect, no matter what you do. Everybody starts out someplace, and the only way that a person becomes a master at something is to keep going even when they fail. And I've seriously had streams that were a complete bust. I've had streams that I got off of and cried my eyes out. And, thought I have no freaking time for this. I should give up. I've been there, done that, got the t-shirt, but I'm still here. And it's because I'm still here that's the reason why I've continued to get better and better. And yes, writing short stories does include adult-themed short stories, but not on Twitch, because they won't like that. But yes, we have other places where we can do that kind of thing. But anyway, that would...
That was that like took a hard left turn at the end, but that was beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah, it's I think just briefly bringing up, I think the fact that HoloLive was the one that got popular in America first years ago kind of skewed people's views in the U.S.
Yeah, for
of
sure.
what a VTuber is, because even though people think that VTubers have to be idols, nah, HoloLive is an idol company, but they use VTubing as the medium. And I think the rise of like indies like Face Connect and all that, and the rise of indie streamers, anyone being able to take the tools and go live, kind of help bring out that there's more out there. Just put your own spin on, especially these days, when that's about the only way you'll get noticed.
Right, and that's basically what I've learned recently, actually, and over the last year of being or attempting to be more regular at streaming, even while going to school full time, is that I'm gonna have to do things the way I do them, and that's the way that I make myself unique, because at this point we already have so much competition. You might as well embody an Oscar Wilde quote and be yourself, because everyone else is already taken. So I really take that to heart, and I really encourage people to do the same, because there's only one you. And sure, you might not get popular right away, and things like that, but it's worth creating your own audience, and it's worth being authentic.
Right, because you want to, you want to bring people that want to see you for you. Like, you can evolve as a streamer, and what you may want to do changes, but that really has to go with who you are and what you do.
Yes.
And I'm so happy that you yourself have decided to stick around. And it's been almost 5 years come Friday.
Yes.
It's going to be an amazing thing and an amazing story. And I'm honored to have been even some small part of that. I do thank you, brother.
Well, you're welcome, and you are one of many people I am so grateful to have met as part of this journey, and you and many other people are honestly the reason I've continued for so long, because I look at all the friendships and connections I have now, and I say, if I had never started this journey, I would have never opened up the big wide world of people who can care about me and appreciate what I do. And I wouldn't have gotten to meet so many different people with so many different skills. And I think that is a great thing.
That is very high praise coming from you. It's things like that from people like you and Carmelone, and it's just really keep me going through some kind of dark times. And I look forward to giving people my interpretation of things this medium can do for as long as I physically can. And
you're getting a hydrate request, which is good timing, because I actually gotta go get some dinner, and I do want to let...
It's not good time. No, sorry, it's not good time because I got this fucking jalapeno.
That's right.
So thank you, but holy crap! Well, go down.
Just get a Pepsi. Just get a Pepsi.
The thing is, you drink it, and the jalapeno doesn't hit till the back, so you think you're fine. But you're fucking not. It doesn't hit you till the back of the throat. I gotta go vom. Tifa's your mom.
Yes.
Check me out on my twitter.com. And the splats. I know
check them out on YouTube. And just a little word for you little monsters. I will be back at 9 p.m. tonight. We're going to do some ASMR and bedtime stories. So I just want to let you all know on YouTube and Kick, yes, we will be back. But I got to go get some dinner, get some hydration. Well, it's already 9 for you East Coasters. Not for me, though. It's dinner time for me. Just
Well, I
want
believe time
Pepsi.
is not a There's only one beer left. Rap is acting all of like you're like weird deaf. Make sure it's all caps when you spell the man's name. So another TV. I will leave you to it. I'll try to stop by if I can.
Okay.
So it's been an honor. I am your faithful Amanda Splats, the Desert Eagle of Mahavre. And this has not been the Amanda Splats Project. This has been the Tifi Weefy Experience.
Yay. All right, you too, Amanda. Thanks for joining me.
I'll talk to you soon, Mother TV.
Alrighty, sounds good. Take care. Alright, my little monsters, it's that time. We gotta find someone to raid, and then I gotta go get some dinner. Does anyone have any suggestions for me for who to raid out to before we get off for my dinner break? Oh yeah, you're welcome, Amanda. No problem. Okay, so as per usual, let's go ahead and do !raid into the chat on Twitch. We will get our raid message, and I actually think for the first time in a long time we are going to go visit my friend Saria, who is on right now doing some art. So my little monsters, if you can stay for the raid, please do so. If not, that's okay. I will see you all back in about 3.5 hours or so I can have some dinner, rest up, and then be ready for some ASMR story time. Sorry, the robot with the laser eyes. The robot tomboy is very sweet and very kind. Alright, my little monsters. We're gonna go raid Saria. Kali, if you can handle the raid for me, that would be amazing. And I will see you all very, very soon. Until then, bye. See you all later for story time. Bye-bye.